This is the kind of night hockey was made for. You're looking at downtown Buffalo, New York. The snow is still falling, but inside the odd, it is comfy, cozy, and Pittsburgh is here. The Buffalo Sabres lost 7 of their first 8 games. Then the cavalry arrived in the form of the Russian sniper. Broken leg healed. He returned to the scoring power that he was last year. The second-line center, a star in his own right, learned how to do it again. The rookie sensation, ready to join the U.S. Olympic team, he won't be there. He's too valuable for the Buffalo Sabres. And a 9-year Czech goaltender, given a chance to play, has stood the league on its head. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, there is yet no Mario Lemieux. But there are these names and these faces, and these people can play the game. They are still #1 in the division. ESPN's National Hockey Night, and welcome everybody. Our first National Hockey Night of the new year. Inside the odd, Pittsburgh taking on Buffalo. 4th time they've met this season. Pittsburgh has won the previous 3. Welcome everybody. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, delighted to have you with us, and Happy New Year. And for the Buffalo Sabres, it has been just that. The bad start, but now they're one above 500.
Terrific turnaround, Gary, and I think it was triggered by 2 events. First of all, in early November, they lost their scoring star, Pat LaFontaine. So their coach, John Muckler, said, whoops, offense is gone, we better play defense. And he instituted really a new defensive system. His players really caught on to it quickly, and they are now one of the best defensive teams in the NHL. So that was number 1. Number 2, in late November, they lost their top goalie, Grant Fuhrer. How would Dominik Hasek perform? Well, in 18 games, he's got himself a nickname. They call him Dominic the Dominator here in Buffalo for a good reason. 18 consecutive starts. You see his record, 1.42 goals against average. Folks, that is pre-World War II goals against average. He has just had an incredible run of 18 games.
And we're going to see him in net tonight. The Dominator will be there for Pittsburgh. Goaltending problems themselves. Tom Barrasso is still out injured. Romano played the other night. Who? But Ken Reggett is ready to go tonight. He'll be in there. A full house will be on hand here at the odd inside, where it's nice, comfy, cozy, while 9 more inches of snow piles up outside.
Hi, everyone. Steve Levy back at our National Hockey Night studios. It's Pittsburgh and Buffalo. Gary and Bill, they're coming up from the odd in just a second. But first, 3 other games tonight on the NHL scoreboard. Calgary and the Islanders, Florida's New Jersey, Quebec. They'll play in Edmonton. My partner on the blue line is always Jim Schoenfeld. Speaking of Florida, the Panthers, earlier their top goal scorer was Scott Mellanby with 14. In a trade, they acquire Bob Kudelski, a rarity for an expansion team. They now have a sniper. He's got 26 goals. That has to help them.
Yeah, Steve, we're nearing the halfway point of the season. The Panthers are a .500 hockey team. They're only 1 point out of the playoffs. But if you look at their power play, it's 23rd in the league. Kudelski has 12 power play goals. So you know the brain trust in Florida is thinking, here's a guy that could maybe put us into the playoffs, and what a coup that would be for a first-year team to be in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
All right, we'll have much more on what's going on elsewhere around the NHL. But coming up, it's the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're in Buffalo to take on the Sabres. 4th meeting of the year. The previous 3, McGillney and the Sabres have just 5 goals.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. By the Prudential, peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock. And by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, long-lasting trucks on the road.
Back here at the odd in Buffalo, the Sabres 6-1-2 in their last 9 games here at home. Al Morgan is joining us here tonight at ice level. Al?
Thanks, Gary. Once again, Mario Lemieux not here. The back problems, but a new back problem with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Rick Tocchet not here. Since the Christmas holiday, he's not played because of a bad back. Now we're here, it's herniated discs, and I just talked to Penguins GM Craig Patrick. They treated it incorrectly. He should have been resting. He's resting 10 to 14 days now. But their history with back injuries, a lot of people with their fingers crossed in Pittsburgh. Gary?
And good reason now with all the people who have been injured there. Now will be joining us tonight, as we said, throughout the game. All right, goaltenders for tonight's game. We'll have a look at Ken Reggett, the 29-year-old in net. He missed the last game as Roberto Romano played in his stead. He's put up some great numbers.
Well, Kenny Reggett is not 100%. He has still a shoulder problem, but he is good enough to play, and that's why he is starting.
And how about this kid, Dominik Hasek? What a job he's doing. 28 years old in net, the #1 goaltender in the National Hockey League right now. We're underway. Samuelson over to Doug Brown. Brown will be out there with Stevens and Martin Straka on the first line for Pittsburgh. Straka behind the net for Brown. Peter Swoboda near side for Larry Murphy. Murphy kicked it back. Brown sending it in. Straka there, pinned up by Richard Schmelik. Centered for Brown, deflects to the side of the net, and held on to there. We'll see a lot of this young man tonight. Well, not really young in NHL language, but 9 years in the Czechoslovakian League before coming over. He's 36, 20, and 9 career-wise in the National Hockey League.
And I really kind of defy anybody to describe his style. You know why? He doesn't have one. I mean, he gives you so many looks. He'll be on his knees. He will plunge forward for the puck. Even the Sabres forwards told me today in practice, when they practice breakaways on him, he'll give them 3 different looks on 3 different breakaways. He does something different. In other words, he doesn't really have a set position that he goes to all the time.
And he's playing all the hockey for them right now as Grant Fuhr continues to be out there. Backup goaltender's not played a game this season as he sits on the bench, Marcus Ketterer. So unless something drastic happens, he's going to be playing a lot of hockey. Late change being made. Kerry Fraser didn't like it, so he sends the Buffalo Sabres back to the bench. Kerry Fraser, our referee tonight, the veteran, along with Bob Hodges and Dan McCourt. The linesman had a heck of a time trying to get Pittsburgh players out on the ice right now. He has already sent 1 line change back to the bench. Ramsey is arguing with him, trying to get out on the ice, Mike Ramsey, and now Stevens moves over. They're not going to let Pittsburgh make a change at all. This is Straka, Brown, and Stevens who started this game. Doesn't matter at this point, Bill. They're all rested anyway.
You know what happened? When Eddie Johnston put his guys out on the ice, right away, John Muckler from the Sabres countered and said, well, if they're going to change late, I'm going to change late. So the Sabres guys were sent back to their bench as well. Kerry says, hey, what am I going to do? Come on, guys.
Give me a break. Doug Brown stays out, and Bob Sweeney will move in to take the face-off. There's John Muckler behind the bench. He's got this Buffalo team fired back again. Straka had the draw, lost it, kicks to center. If he chased down near Samuelson on the near side for Brown. Brown cutting in. Pittsburgh still trying to get a line change. Guys half over the bench at the other end. Stevens has it. Swoboda was there. Tipped wide behind the net by Brown to Straka. Straka held up by Richard Schmelik to Stevens to Brown. Brown cutting the other way. Straka going with him. He gets dumped back for Straka. This line putting on a show early on. And Hasek again has to cover it up as Buffalo's been unable to get the puck out of the zone against Pittsburgh's first line out tonight.
Watch for Hasek actually sometimes. We've seen him twice now cover the puck with his glove hand. You can watch for Dominic Hasek to actually throw his stick down and grab the puck with his right hand sometimes. He feels more comfortable because he's actually got fingers in that right glove. And John Muckler said he doesn't use his glove as much as he would like him to. Very unorthodox. He will do things that really... It certainly does mess up a scout, and that's why a lot of people, even though he was a star, as you mentioned, in the Czechoslovakian League, to really think that he was going to excel in the National Hockey League. But he has. He has learned how to play with his glove, and he has learned how to control the puck with his stick.
Larry Murphy, Pittsburgh holds it in, deflected wide. Stevens, Straka, and Brown. Brown in front, tipped away by Sweeney, and Buffalo will finally clear it up the center. Randy Wood, Samuelson batted it away from him. Played at center ice by the Sabres. Brown from behind. It's brought in offside and a penalty coming. Holding the stick and a misconduct call coming up, I believe, as Stevens argued about it as he headed to the bench. So there'll be a couple called here by Kerry Fraser. We'll straighten it out when we come back at our studios. Our new play-by-play voice. Nice job, fella. Steve Levy.
Well, thanks, Garrett. Let's update you on Florida and New Jersey. John Van Beesbrook, one of the best things he does, handle the puck, right? Well, not so great this time. It's a giveaway. Richer to John McClain in front. Minute 13 in. Devils on top 1-0. Wow.
Steve, thanks very much. There you see Stevens. A 2-minute for holding the stick and a 2-minute on sportsmanlike conduct. A double minor. So 4 minutes up on the board. Bill, we were talking about this before the game.
Exactly. Gary, we've seen some referees let it go. But Kevin Stevens here is called for a hold. There it is, the stick hold. And I talked to Kerry Fraser before the game. I said, Kerry, even the players are telling me that all of the clutching and grabbing now is not being called. And he said, you know, we've received no directive on this since the strike had ended. And some referees are calling the stick hold, some aren't. Kerry said, I will call it. True to form, he went out and called it. But this is a bad situation for the Penguins. The Sabres special teams have been excellent, including their power play.
Peter Swoboda behind the net. Buffalo comes in third best power play in the National Hockey League, while Pittsburgh is ninth in killing off penalties. Neither team has done anything against the other as far as power plays are concerned against one another. It's been a disaster as Pittsburgh's 1 for 14 against Buffalo, and Buffalo's 1 for 13 against Pittsburgh. So John Muckler with a crew out there has a power play and a full 4 minutes worth of it if needed. There you see the numbers for the guy, of course, put in a lot of years with the Edmonton Oilers as assistant and then head coach. He was with Glenn Slats, where he learned the game NHL style, and now behind the bench for Buffalo. Faceoff comes in the Pittsburgh zone. Himmelev back to get it. They've got Himmelev, Hawerchuk, and McGillney out on the power play unit. Samuelson back for Murphy. They haven't left the ice yet. Samuelson and Murphy out there penalty killing now. We're out there on the first shift. Even strength. McGillney trying to center it and block. Swoboda kicked it back in. Peter Swoboda with Bodger. Swoboda shot, save, and deflected to the corner by Ken Regan. Played there by Francis out of the zone. Knocked down by Bodger. Bodger waiting for his teammates to clear. Francis intercepts the intended for Hawerchuk. Cleared out again to Peter Swoboda. Swoboda, incredibly, 1 goal this year. Brought in by Hawerchuk. Hawerchuk looking into the middle. There's Bodger over to Swoboda. Swoboda back. Still 2:56 on the power play. Swoboda back to Bodger, working the high top. In front, shot deflected wide as Himmelev was setting up the screen. Near side, Swoboda to Bodger. Bodger being rushed by Larry Murphy. Back over to Swoboda. Swoboda had it tipped away. Stapleton got it out of the zone. Good play by Stapleton. McGillney as they get back onside. Pittsburgh unable to change up yet on the penalty killing unit. We'll do it here.
Well, I tell you what, there's an interesting situation that the Buffalo Sabres are now involved with in their power play. Unlike most teams in the league, they put 2 guys right in front of Ken Regan, right in front of the Pittsburgh goalie. That really forces the Penguins defensemen to stay there. And what that does is opens up some ice for Alexander McGillney over on the side boards. If they get it to him, he's going to be able to walk to the net with that big screen there.
Good job by Pittsburgh killing it off. 2:09 left to go on this double minor that was called on Kevin Stevens. Schmelik has come out to work now. There's Derek Plant, the rookie. 6th leading rookie scorer, Derek Plant. Plant going after the puck, hauled down by Ron Francis, turned and cleared right straight up the middle by Marty McSorley. Ashik at the other end will hang on to it there. Still 1:50 left, no score early on here in the first. Buffalo Sabres, a 4-minute power play. Again, Larry Murphy on the ice, tips it away, and that was touched up with a high stick at center and ended up going into the seats.
You know, as if it wasn't a bad enough start overall for the Sabres, look what they did at home to start. They lost the first 7. People were staying away by the hundreds and thousands. And then all of a sudden they turned it back up. They started scoring. They went from 2.57 goals scored to 4.71. Turned their record around, 8-2-2 in the last 12. I talked to John Muckler today and said, how about that start, John? You only won one of the first 8. And he simply said, horrendous. Just horrendous.
They are 7th in the conference right now. Remember, 8 teams from each conference will go to the playoffs, and there's a battle royal going on in this Eastern Conference for those final 2 or 3 spots at the halfway point of the season, which we are at, or will be at, in the next couple of games. Short-handed, Buffalo Sabres. Sutton working in his own end, clears it back. Sabres on the power play, rather. Brought in by Derek Plant, minute 25 left on the advantage. Samuelson moving over, tipped away behind the net. Buffalo's got it, not a lot yet. They couldn't get it back to the point. Jaromir Jagr clears it out on net. Ashik at the other end, will leave it there. Schmelik goes back to get it. 1:10 remaining on the power play opportunity. They look to the middle for Plant, couldn't find him. Bodger covers. Bodger, the defenseman who plays along the line on the power play, brought it in. Swoboda near side, lets it go to Audette. Back to Swoboda. He was challenged by Trache. Audette's got it. Goes back into the middle, centering pass blocked. Jagr did get it out of the zone. They were looking for Audette working at the high slot along with Brad May. 45 seconds left on a 4-minute power play. Dale Hawerchuk's got it, and they're not doing much with it as the shots right now are 1-1. Only 1 shot coming here in this power play so far. McGillney drops it off. 30 seconds on the advantage. Doug Brown up on Himmelev, who gets it off to Peter Swoboda. Swoboda into the zone. 25 on the advantage. Worked around behind the net. Himmelev batted it up in the air. Brown trying to get it out. Bodger kicking it back in. Good job. Lost it to Marty McSorley. McSorley drops it short-handed. Here comes Brown. Brown with McSorley trailing the shot. Save made. Ashik dropped it off into the corner. 8 seconds remaining on this 4-minute power play for the Buffalo Sabres, and they've done nothing with it. It'll be played by Hawerchuk on the far side, and it is over. They do not convert and get but 2 shots. Save made by Regan on the kick-in as McGillney brought it in on the right wing side. Even strength. Near side. Daniels drops it. It deflects into the corner. Wide open Mike Stapleton. No Nobody was on him as he cruised into the zone. No, it was Stevens.
Right.
Kevin Stevens, who come out of the box, was all alone.
You know, it's not like Kevin Stevens to miss that, Gary. It almost looked like he was looking to see where Hasek was, and he just misfired on accepting the pass.
There wasn't anybody within 8 feet of him out there in the opposing jerseys. Kicked into the zone, Scott Thomas, 21 of the Sabres, one of the rookies out there, who's from Buffalo, the city of Buffalo, playing here. Here's a dream come true. Sutton kicks it in. Reagan goes back to get it, leaves it behind the net. So we've gone 6 minutes into this first period without a whistle being called for most of it. Bowler goes back to get it. No score. Shots are 2-2. And 4 minutes worth of power play for the Sabres. They could do nothing with it. Great to have you with us here at the Odd in Buffalo, ESPN's National Hockey Night. Pittsburgh Penguins, who are 3rd in the conference right now, tied for 7th overall in the National Hockey League. Playing some pretty good hockey. Brian Trottier, one of the reasons as what a team leader, the player-coach position he has been this season for them. And with everybody they've got out injured, Rick Tocchet out, 4th game with back spasms. Samuelson, Shell Samuelson, he's missing from tonight's game. Mario Lemieux is out of the game. So they had to call 3 people back up who they just sent down. Justin Duberman, Ed Patterson, and Marcus Naslund all here.
You know, you just talk about Brian Trottier. I don't care if he's 38 years old. He just about swiped Ken Sutton's arms off his body. I mean, you never know with Brian Trottier. He has always played it tough. He'll turn 40, still play in this league, and if your head is down, you might wake up someplace else.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Patterson sends it back in. That's one of the rookies we were talking about. Duberman's out there with him along with Trottier. So it's the 2 rookies and the veteran on this line for Pittsburgh. In the middle, Derek Plant. Plant, the rookie, brings it in. Plant the shot. Save made by Reagan. He'll cover it up and hang on as Donald Audette was streaming in. Jim Pack stood out in front of him to protect. And the linesmen have to move in and separate McSorley and Ray. Hey, there's a twosome.
Yeah, but Gary, I mentioned that Ken Reagan is not 100%. I said, well, when does it hurt? He said, when I'm trying to protect the 17 hole. I said, I don't think I've heard of the 17 hole. He said, well, that's what I call it. And it's the area under his right armpit. When he's actually set up in the set position, there's a hole between his blocker glove, or at least above his blocker glove on the right side, and his body. So it's almost like under his armpit. And he said when he has to move in quickly to protect that 17 hole.
I never heard of that.
Well, I didn't get him to identify holes 6 through 16 because I know 1 through 5.
17, we'll have to remember that. That's under the armpit. He's now played in 18 of the last 19 games, going 7-5-5 during that streak for Reagan, who's in there tonight. Murphy drops it off for Samuelson. 13 minutes to go here in the first period. No score. Yager chasing it down. Jaromir Yager leading Pittsburgh with 49 points. Kevin Stevens leads the team in goals with 23. Francis has it in the middle. Francis having another strong season, 11 goals, 33 assists, the assist leader for them. He's got it. Francis cutting back through the middle, dumped it out in front. Nobody there to pick it up. Yager had been pinned up. Larry Murphy couldn't get to it. Bodger brings it over the red. His shot in, kicked away by Reagan. Off Ray. Ray's shot goes off the blocker behind the net. Murphy and Ray do battle. Cleared to Francis. Francis saw the check coming and got out of trouble, but it was mighty close. He did have his head up that time as he had Matthew Barnaby moving in on him. Cleared back in behind the net. Buffalo Sabres in their own end trying to clear. Yager kicks it away. Dave Hannon. Hannon drops it off for Bodger. Bodger had it blocked. Played back in front by Joey Mullen. Can't do anything with it. 4-2 the shots on goal in favor of the Buffalo Sabres. And you're seeing the kind of defensive play we're seeing around the National Hockey League. Joey Mullen dropped it. Shot struck and a save made. Hasek kicking that one off into the corner. Back the other way comes Peter Swoboda. Swoboda leaves it for Himmelev. Himmelev couldn't get it by Samuelson. Good play by Ulf Samuelson to get it out. Richard Schmelik back in the middle. Marty McSorley. McSorley is seeing more ice time over the last half dozen games for these Pittsburgh Penguins and liking it. Brought in by McGillney. On the board, Straka and McGillney do battle. It was won that time by Martin Straka. Doug Brown sends it in. Hasek just drops it off to the side. Both teams making a lot of line changes on the fly here as they go back and forth at center ice.
You know, Gary, Marty McSorley will continue to see a lot of ice time as long as Big Shell Samuelson's out of the lineup. I mean, the Penguins are a banged-up team. Al mentioned Tocchet out of the lineup. Of course, Mario Lemieux isn't around, but also Shell Samuelson is out. Tom Barrasso is out. And without those guys, they're not that deep.
No, and you're seeing that tonight already by some of the guys who are seeing enormous amounts of ice time for Pittsburgh.
Steve Levy back in our National Hockey Night studios. Another giveaway by Florida leads to another New Jersey goal. Mike Huff gave this one away. John McClain beats Van Beesbrook 2-0 Devils. Gary and Bill in Buffalo.
They have won 3 in a row. The New Jersey Devils have. They're one of the red-hot teams of the National Hockey League right now. Cleared back into the corner. No score here. 11:13 to go in the first period at the odd in Buffalo. Gary Thornhill, Clement, El Morganti with you. Murphy's got it. Larry Murphy looking. Pittsburgh clears the zone. Doug Brown on his knees. Got it in. Strike of the shot. Good save. Dominic Hasek again had to come up big on the high shot, and that's what you'll see him do most of the time. Just knock it down, knock it away. Stevens trying to center. Howard-Chuck off the back of McGillney. Brown diving again, holds it in. Sutton goes back to get it on the near side. Cleared up by Ken Sutton. Howard-Chuck 2-line pass, no dice. They get the whistle. And one whistle right here, El Morganti. 10:43 left to go. El Morganti, believe me, is downstairs here, but sometimes modern technology gets in the way. 10:43 left here. Shots right now are 4-4. And we were talking about the defensive style. Boy, the Buffalo Sabres ever gone to that. A team that was loaded with offense without Pat LaFontaine. Defensively right now, the Buffalo Sabres are tied for third, giving up 2.77.
And what is incredible, Gary, is that they were 21st in defense at the quarter pole, and we're not even at the half pole, so they haven't played as many games yet, but they've come in the last 20 games from 21st to 3rd.
And Richard Smellick is hurt. He caught a puck in the face. He's heading to the bench. Play will go on. Marty McSorley back to get it. Dropped it off for the rookie, Scott Thomas. Thomas gets crunched by Jennings in the corner. Puck is underneath the pile down there. Looking to dig it out is Randy Wood. Wood let it go. Wood in front. Pass by Thomas deflected. Randy Wood tried to get it. Pushed away by McSorley to the corner. It'll be played there. Play goes on as the Sabres made the change. Now they put heat on Randy Wood. Wood, Thomas looking to the front. Good check put on Stapleton. Fans want to call on it. They're not going to get it. Mike Stapleton just played the body right there and took his man down. Puck freed up, and it'll be the Pittsburgh Penguins coming away with it. Naslund couldn't get it. Swoboda at center, and Buffalo will change it up. Dumped back in behind the net. Grant Jennings going back to get it. Jennings working on defense. With Samuelson out, Jennings will get some ice time as well. Played by Howard-Chuck over to McGillney. McGillney moving in. Jennings there. Jennings, a nice play. Stayed with him. McGillney was trying to tap it. Couldn't. Held in by Muni. McGillney coming from behind the net. Off for Muni. Francis is there. So was McGillney. Tipped away by Muni. Finally out of the zone. Bodger. Bodger got spun around. Yager with Mullen ahead of him all alone. But he couldn't get it to him. Himmelem gets dumped. No call. Yager's onside. Yager in. Yager centered. Francis. Great save. Dominic Hasek, a tremendous save in what ended up being a 2-on-1. That's the way this man's been playing for the Buffalo Sabres.
Here, one guy is almost in the picture here. They give you this whole far side here if you can get it over there. Watch what happens. All right, the Penguins finally get it out of the zone here, and they try a long cross-ice pass. See, Bodger stops it, but if we keep it rolling, stop right here for a second. Look at Joey Mullen all alone. This whole side of the ice is open on the trap. If you can get it over there, you got a breakaway, and Bodger got lucky on that one.
A great save made at the other end after that play. Shot in by Murphy, deflected off Joey Mullen, and bounced out deep. Played up by Thomas. Scott Thomas, 23 years old, Clarkson University. Hit shot, Reagan a save, kicked wide of the net and covered up by Ken Reagan. A 29-year-old who is 7-9-1 lifetime against Buffalo. Shows him he can do it at the other end as well.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't wish Tom Barrasso any misfortune in the injury department, but Ken Reagan has been a loyal subject to the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he's always wanted to be a #1 goalie. Everywhere he's gone, he is really loving what is happening here with the Pittsburgh Penguins because he is playing. The problem for Ken Reagan is the Sabres, or at least the Penguins, have really struggled defensively. I mean, that is the one area that they need to pick it up. They've actually dropped 3 places. They're all the way down to 19th defensively, so he doesn't get that much protection in front. You know what? Doesn't matter. You ask a hockey player how he's doing, and if he says he's doing fine, that means he's playing. Ken Reagan is playing.
23 starts for him in 27 games. Reagan again the save and the shot by Bodger. And he got hit behind the play, and a penalty coming up. Delayed call on Buffalo for interference with a goaltender. Brought in by Yager. Yager sends it in the corner. Pittsburgh with the extra skater. Francis to Mullen. Back to Francis, and touched up by the Sabres. And there's the whistle. An interference call back at the other end as Ken Reggett got knocked down in the crease.
I think it was Randy Wood, wasn't it?
I did not see who it was who got him.
It was Randy Wood. And you can count on one thing. Randy Wood will always be driving the net. He's one of the few players that I think in today's age would have driven the net even in the old days when the nets were stable, when they didn't pop off. But Kerry Fraser is going to call it tight. Interference with the goalie is what it's called. That's Randy Wood, and he was just trying to get in front. Ken Reggett made it look pretty good, and he was about 2 feet out in front. But there are only 2 directives that the referees have received from their supervisors since the referees strike. One of them deals with hitting from behind. No tolerance in the hitting from behind, and Kerry Fraser showed me the directive before the game. The other one, protect the goalies. Do not let anybody take the goalies out of the play. If they interfere with them, call it.
There you see the numbers on Pittsburgh's power play. As we told you, they have not been able to do anything against Buffalo in the 3 previous games. Hasek, great save on the shot by Marty McSorley, and it's cleared out of the zone. We have already seen here in this first period some outstanding goaltending. Buffalo had a 4-minute power play and a double minor early on. They did not convert. For Pittsburgh, this will be their first power play chance of the game. And see what they can do with it, as they are 1 for 14 against Buffalo in their 3 previous wins against the Sabres. Played by Murphy. Murphy sends it in for Francis. Francis, Stevens, and Yager on the power play. Yager got knocked down by Muni. Deflected in on goal. Batted high out of the air with a high stick. No, didn't matter. Schmelik got it cleared anyway.
It was higher than the crossbar, but not higher than Ronnie Francis' shoulders.
Here's Himmelab short-handed for the Sabres. Himmelab the shot deflected off Marty McSorley. Played on the far side by Randy Moeller. Moeller sends it near side. Penalty killers doing a number here. Himmelab, McSorley all there. Joey Mullen finally able to pick it up for Francis. Francis comes to the middle off for Mullen. Mullen in. Mullen turn. Mullen got knocked down from behind. Penalty coming up. Puck is covered up at the side of the net. Stevens goes at it. Francis comes in to separate Randy Moeller from his teammate Kevin Stevens. And Joey Mullen got knocked on top of Hasek, the goaltender, and a penalty, I believe, another one coming up on the Buffalo Sabres.
No, there's no question about it. Joey Mullen got a step on Randy Moeller because Randy Moeller actually turned the wrong way. I mean, you have to turn facing the guy that's going around you, and that's not what happened. You're Ronnie Francis here to Joe Mullen. You see Moeller number 24 in white is trying to recover now, but he turned the wrong way. And turning the wrong way simply means you turn your back on the guy that's going around you instead of turning and facing him all the way around. But Joey Mullen has been one of the most consistent Penguins in the last. He's been the hottest Penguins in the last 13 games.
Boy, what a year. 22 goals, 17 assists, 39 points for Joey Mullen. 2- on the ice. Al Morganti.
Thanks, Gary. Came in today 4 hours late on the same flight with Kerry Fraser from Philadelphia. Pretty good scene at the airport. A lot of hot tempers 4 hours late at the desk. People arguing. Kerry Fraser sitting there. Somebody calls him over and says, hey, can you break this up? No way. I don't get paid for this. I'm watching somebody else take care of this one. Every time I see this guy, though, Gary, I wonder, who's got the better hair in pro sports, him or Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah, but how does this stay in place?
He's like Superman.
He's got to get an infomercial for whatever that hair holder is. I mean, it works.
We'll be reading about it. Kerry Fraser was struck in the head and suffered fractured hair.
Randy Moeller gets the cross-checking and roughing. A double minor at 12:39, and Stevens goes for roughing. So it ends up being a 2-man advantage still for the Pittsburgh Penguins. 52 seconds remaining on the first penalty, and 2 minutes goes up for Randy Moeller as he picked up the double minor. So a 2-man advantage, 5-on-3, Pittsburgh with the opportunity.
There's Joey Mullen as Randy Moeller finally tracked him down. Joey Mullen with 12 goals in the last 13 games. That's hot. Now this is the huge test for the #1 ranked penalty killers in the league.
2-man advantage, Pittsburgh. Larry Murphy. Murphy drops it back off for Marty McSorley. Yager, Francis, and Mullen on the ice. Murphy looking. Mullen on the weak side post right now. Francis. They've got Yager set up in the middle. Larry Murphy. A lot of room. McSorley. His shot. Blocked. Deflected. McSorley trying to dig it out from Muni, and Muni held onto it long enough. Boy, the veteran defenseman right there, formerly with the Edmonton Oilers, 31-year-old Craig Muni. Nice play to hang on to the puck. Steve Levy.
Gary, thanks. Calgary on Long Island tonight. Scoreless in the first. Wes Walz knocks Tom Curvers off the puck. Just hooks the stick just a little bit, and that frees it for Joe Nieuwendyk. Beats Jamie McLennan in his first NHL game. 1-0 Flames.
Boy, Jaromir Jagr usually eats up the Buffalo Sabres, but on a 5-on-3, if he's the guy that's in front, they are going to take him out. That's Craig Muni banging him. Richard Schmelik was number 42. He pays the price, but this is a team that he usually eats up. He loves playing against the Sabres.
25 seconds on the two-man advantage for Pittsburgh. Larry Murphy again. Francis in front. His shot. Francis knocked down by the goaltender, and a penalty coming up.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Hasek or not, but somebody definitely knocked him down. I think Craig Muni might have given him the poke in the back of the leg.
I want to see this again.
Yeah.
I think Hasek is the one who pulled the legs out from under Ron Francis.
Well, we'll see. Watch right here. We'll stop her right here. You can see Francis in front. First of all, there was a high stick on Francis, but then let's see how he goes down. It might have been Hasek. Now watch. Stop right there. Right there. There is Craig Muni's stick, and all he's doing is pushing Ronnie Francis' knee that way. Boy, that's kind of dangerous, and you go flat. Look at that. It doesn't take much, and that's why it's a difficult penalty to spot, because it's a split-second infraction. It's a dangerous infraction if the guy is moving towards the boards, but when you're down 2 men, it's one of those things, forwards, no. Forwards, no. They got to worry about it.
Muni's going to go for the tripping.
Here's the stick in the face before that. And here's going to be the poke in the back of the leg. You see how dangerous that is? You poke it the wrong way and you tear your ligaments. You know, that actually wrenched his knee pretty good.
And he fell on the small of his back.
Yeah.
Well, 3 are in the box now. Wood, Stevens, and Wood, Moeller, and Muni are all in the box. Still a 2-man advantage for 17 seconds on the first 2-man advantage. Then it will stay that way for another minute plus. Deflected into the corner, Marty McSorley. The specialty teams getting a big workout here in the first period. No score. McSorley to Joey Mullen. Back to Marty McSorley. Dropped it off to Larry Murphy. Had it blocked by Hannon. Murphy back to McSorley. Lot of room. Over to Joey Mullen. Wrong side for the shot. Back to McSorley. Hannon stepped up. Francis has got it in the corner. 10 power play goals for Kevin Stevens, but he now is in the penalty box. 2-man advantage. Shot deflected wide as Marty McSorley wound up to take it. Larry Murphy's got it. Still a 2-man advantage for another 45 seconds. Francis had it blocked by Hasek. Played by Joey Mullen. Pittsburgh's keeping it in the zone. McSorley, Hasek a save. Jagr off his body. Jaromir Jagr to Mullen. Mullen back for Jagr. Can't get it. Hasek moves up. Tipped it away. Schmelik trying to clear and did.
I got to tell you, that is a terrific job of penalty killing. The Penguins, the Sabres played 2 different types of triangles. One with 2 guys in front, one with 2 at the top. And to do that, you got to move back and forth. They did it so quickly and so well.
Great play by Francis to hold that puck in right there as he knocked it out of the air. Still a 2-man for 11 seconds. Jagr looking. Cross ice. McSorley in front. Francis couldn't get a stick on it. Tip back to the corner to Dave Hannon. Hannon tried to clear and didn't get it. Back up to McSorley. Dropped it off to Mullen. Mullen took it across ice. Blocked in front. Now a 1-man advantage. 45 seconds on the power play. It's now 5-on-4. Shot. Save. Hasek. Score. Francis. Finally, Ron Francis, a power play goal and a 1-0 lead for Pittsburgh.
Boy, it took a terrific shot by Ronnie Francis to beat Hasek. Hasek was down and Francis just roofed it right up into the far corner. The Penguins up until this point, Gary, though, not real smart puck movement. But watch it from the far side. It's going to come right at us through the top of the net, or almost through the top of the net. Watch off the skate, too. I mean, terrific with the skates by Francis to get it to his stick, and then bingo, right up into the corner.
He made 2 great plays, Bill. One, he knocked the clearing pass down.
He sure did.
Out of the air.
Because this was a low percentage play. Larry Murphy shot with nobody in front screening. And unfortunately, from Hasek's standpoint, the rebound went right to Ron Francis. But the Sabres penalty killing, I got to tell you, the Penguins didn't read it. When the Sabres only had 1 defender in front, the Penguins never got it down there because they had a 2-on-1 in front.
You can see where they have the #1 penalty killing unit, but not quite enough. They fell short on this goal.
Well, look at it. Look in front here. Look, Jagr moves out of the way just when Murphy's shooting. So that's a low percentage unscreened play that Hasek didn't get lucky on in the rebound. That really was a bad power play maneuver by the Penguins that worked.
Ron Francis gets his 5th power play goal, his 12th overall at our Miller Genuine Draft. League leaders. Take a look at our board here tonight from the Odd in Buffalo, the #1 goaltender in the National National Hockey League is in there right now. 1.80. Waugh, Burke, Wakaluk, and John Van Beesbrook on our Miller Genuine Draft board. The best goals against in the National Hockey League.
And you know, in that 18-game span that he has played, all the starts since Grant Fuhr went down, his average is 1.42.
Absolutely phenomenal. He is a story. They're still trying to figure out who's in the box and who isn't here. So while we're doing that, let us remind you, ESPN's National Hockey Night on Friday nights for the second half of the season here on ESPN. Next Friday at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. What a matchup we have for you. The Philadelphia Flyers will be going to the Garden in New York. Eric Lindros, as he goes, so goes the Flyers. That's the way it looks right now. So the New York Rangers still red hot. Mark Messier with 37 points on the season. New York, of course, has been atop the National Hockey League for the better part of this year. Next Friday night, they'll face each other at the Garden, and we'll be there 7:30 Eastern. All right, 1-0 lead for Pittsburgh, and we're back to even strength now. Larry Murphy takes it in behind the net with 4:59 left to go. A 1-0 lead on the power play goal by Francis. As Pittsburgh gets it after two different situations where they had a two-man advantage. They finally scored on the one-man. Himmelett trying to get it in front. Powerchuk was there, couldn't get the shot off, cleared out by Brown. And Sutton got a good piece of him after he got it out. Svoboda back in his own end. Up for Himmelett on the near side. Remember, Pittsburgh has won all 3 games played between these two teams earlier, including one game here. McGillney with Powerchuk cutting. McGillney the shot. Score!
What a terrific play. The problem in covering McGillney is he is so quick, you got to lay off him a little bit. All Samuelson lays off him. Look, that gives McGillney a chance to maneuver the puck back to his forehand, and once he gets it back, cocked and loaded, forget about it. The best wrist shot on the off wing in the NHL. Watch this. Samuelson has to lay off. That gives McGillney a chance. Might have deflected, but it doesn't matter. It was a terrific play by McGillney, and he scored so many goals. He plays his off wing. He'll come down that side, and when he pulls it back, if you lay off him enough, bingo. That's how he does it.
He is tied right now at the top of the pile in even strength goals for Buffalo, and it's a 1-1 game. Intercepted down low, shot wide of the net by Brad May. Alexander McGillney, who's had 3 goals against Pittsburgh this year, has tied this game up at 1-1. In the corner, the battle goes on. Nobody can get control. May finally has it. May brings it up. Plant coming to the middle. 3-on-2. Derek Plant, cross ice, turnaround, shot, deflected in front. They did end up with a 3-on-2. Donald Audette had the chance in the right wing. Marty McSorley drops it off. Project could not handle it. Muni back over to Bodger. Bodger sends it back in the middle. Derek Plant brings it in. Plant leaves it for May. May sends it across ice to Audette. Back to Muni. Muni down low. Boy, open again. In front of the net, they had 2 players. Derek Plant was wide open. In front, shot, save, Reagan. Another great chance, cleared out. All alone again, Derek Plant. 2 chances on that shift with nobody on him. Muni back to get it, 3:24 to go in the first, and the game tied at 1 here at the Aud. Randy Wood couldn't handle it. Larry Murphy sends it back. Arm up. This will be an icing call when it's touched up by Muni. Francis from Murphy and Mullen on the power play. Tied up by McGillney on an unassisted goal at 15:30, 1-1.
All right, welcome back. Here's that chance by the Buffalo Sabres. There's the puck, but watch the Sabre along the boards. He is key on this play. Marty McSorley goes back in. He thinks he's got a straight lane up the boards. He's already looked. He passes. Rookie Derek Plant came off the boards. He's really quick. He's a little guy, 160 pounds, but he'll twist and turn in the corners. Boy, you better make sure you tie him up, and the Penguins did not have him there.
Face-off in the Pittsburgh end. Game tied at 1. Batted up in the air by Larry Murphy. Not a high-sticking call. Spelling got it back to center. Ron Francis turning there. Francis trying to send it cross ice. Got it back to Larry Murphy. Over to Joy Mullen. Mullen in the shot. Used the defenseman, but had it blocked by Sutton. Jaromir Jagr. Jagr tried to drop it off on the side as they circled. Murphy will go back to get it. Jagr 16 goals, 33 assists, 49 points. Leading for Pittsburgh, of course, with Mario Lemieux out. He's played only 4 games. Lemieux is skating. Says he may be back to this team long before people thought he would. A lot of people thought he wouldn't get back to maybe the playoffs. Well, Hasek, he doesn't do anything in the orthodox manner.
No,
he didn't even fall on the puck orthodoxly.
Absolutely not. You know, I mentioned that Jaromir Jagr really eats up the Buffalo Sabres. It doesn't matter. They played a neutral site game in Sacramento, and he was still terrific against them and picked up 3 points. But I talked to Jaromir Jagr before the game, and he said, you know something? It's tougher now in the last few weeks, and he's played them since they've gone to this trap defense. It's tougher now, and it's not only tougher in the neutral zone, it's tougher in the offensive zone for Jagr. He said before they played strict man-to-man, everybody paired up, and they followed their check around the ice. So he said our guys would take the defenseman away from the front of the net, and all I had to do was beat one guy, and I'd get to the goal. Now the Sabres have gone to a system. They never vacate the front of the net, and if Jagr beats one guy, he's got a second guy to beat, so it's tougher for him. He said, you know what? If I'm on my game, I beat everybody.
And he said, especially when ESPN's here, he was kidding everybody tonight. My night, ESPN's here. Because we did a log interview with him, and he liked it. Howard Chuck shot Swoboda. Swoboda's trying desperately to get some goals. The 27-year-old John Muckler, in a newspaper article today in Buffalo, said he's got to give us some more points. He can do more scoring as a defenseman than what he's doing. Swoboda hasn't been doing that, and Muckler went to the press with it. That's a sign he's kind of pushing Swoboda along.
He mentioned a bunch of guys. He said Brad May. Look, Brad May's not a rookie any longer. Peter Swoboda knows his way around the offensive end of the rink. I mean, Richard Schmalik has 8 goals, and he leads the defenseman in scoring. But now Peter Swoboda now anchors the left point in the power play, so he's got to get some goals. I mean, he's taken Dale Howardchuck's spot back there.
There's Howardchuck in front on the save by Reggett. Moeller again at the point trying to hold it in. A lot of good banging going on out there. Penalty coming up in front. Tried to hit Howardchuck. Cleared up, and we've got a whistle and a penalty coming. A roughing call. We'll see who it's on when we come back. Let's join L.
Thanks, Gary. One of the disappointments this year, rookie Marcus Naslund for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He was supposed to be a real star. 2 goals in half a season, got an unexpected trip to the minor leagues. One of his real problems has been a big number, like 900,000. Teammates kind of roll their eyes. This guy, 2 goals, he's making $900,000. When you come with that big number and that big reputation and you're a rookie, you got to live up to it, or you got a bumpy ride your first year, Gary.
Well, you got a bumpy ride, too, with the fans, Al, because there was a ticket increase in Pittsburgh because the Pittsburgh management guaranteed the fans that they would not let anybody outbid them for Marcus Naslund. He was actually a free agent that they had drafted, but he actually went into free agency because they hadn't signed him for 2 years. So they gave him a lot of money, $900 grand, signed him. And to me, he looks like he still feels as if he is a guest in the National Hockey League.
20 years old.
You look at Renberg, though, in Philadelphia, he's very assertive. I mean, Marcus Naslund simply does not look assertive when he gets on the ice. It's almost like he plays on the outside. He doesn't play on the inside. And to me, the only way I can put it is he looks like he's just visiting, like he's a guest.
My guess is you stay with him and the money will...
Oh, they have to.
It'll come back to you. He's only 20, 3 years in Sweden. This guy's got too much talent to give up on at age 20. McGillney drops it, shot right through the crease. Power play underway here for the Buffalo Sabres in a 1-1 game. Bodger deflected, Himmelev scores! 2-1 Sabres! Stevens went out for roughing at 18:23, and Himmelev puts it in.
Well, Ken Reagan didn't stand a chance on this one. Swoboda sharp back to the point and quick puck movement, and this is pretty simple. Just get it to the front of the net and try for an overload. But you can see 2 Penguins and 2 Sabres. The Sabres didn't even have the overload. It was a 2-on-2. But watch Himmelev. He just is lucky enough to be skating in the right direction. He cruised right to the rebound, turned around. Reagan was down and screened. And bingo, the Sabres lead 2-1.
Himmelev's got 12 on the season. 4 of those have been power play goals, and 2 of them have come against Pittsburgh. So the 29-year-old Himmelev on a power play goal with 1:37 left to go in the first has given the Sabres a 2-1 lead. Francis on the faceoff against Sweeney, who won it. Bob Sweeney winning the draw back to Muni. Muni had it blocked by Francis Jagr, trying to get it back to Francis, who was at the line, but couldn't. Randy Wood back for Bodger. We'll update you on the other games going on in the National Hockey League during our first intermission. We'll take you back to our studio. Steve and Jim there for that. We'll be coming up in a minute 19. Randy Wood, Marty McSorley nailed him. Wood gets right back up. Blocked in the zone by Sweeney. He gets sent down on the boards by Ramsey. Played behind the net Thomas. Thomas being tied up by Francis. Scott Thomas, the 23-year-old, pinned up. Francis won't let go of him. Jagr tries to get the puck out of there and does. Jagr digging. Randy Wood got it. Randy Wood with a minute to go to Sweeney. His shot was blocked. 2-on-2 the other way. Joy Mullen, nice pass. Jaromir Jagr with Muni. Jagr brought it back. Couldn't get the shot off. As Hasek came out, and pushed the puck into the corner on him after an almost tremendous play by Yager.
What a great look at his reach. I mean, he had the puck so far to the left that he finally pulled it back through Craig Muni, who's a tough guy to beat.
Oops. The rookie, Scott Thomas, and Marty McSorley.
Look at these strides. And when he gets it in full flight, he's pretty scary. One-on-one. And look how he had the puck way out to the left. Gosh. You know, Craig Muni, if he went right for the body there and tried to play the body, Yager's got such an explosive acceleration that he might have gone around him. So you got to hedge a little bit with the great players, especially a guy like Yager. You know, and Craig Muni is not the kind of guy that plays the puck, but against Yager, you almost have to. And that's Yager going off. I don't know what happened. He may have lost an edge when he piled into Dominic Hasek. He looked like he was walking okay.
Yeah, no penalties called here by the looks of it. 14:51, Francis for Murphy and Mullen. 1-0 Pittsburgh in a power play. McGillney is 18th unassisted at 15:30 tied it. And then Himalev is 12th from Bodger and Swoboda at 18:23. And the power play has given Buffalo the 2-1 lead with 35 seconds left to go here in the first period. And the draw at the top of the circle in the Pittsburgh end. Eric Plant losing it to Doug Brown. Dropped off by Larry Murphy to Samuelson to Brown, who tipped it in. This could be an icing call, and will be when touched up by Ken Sutton. Face-off back the other way.
There's not much experience backing up the two starting goaltenders in this hockey game. Roberto Romano played a few days ago and got his first win in 7 years because he'd been playing in Italy for 7 years. And for the Buffalo Sabres, Marcus Ketterer is backing Dominic Hasek up, and he has never played a game in the NHL. And he actually is the third goalie here for the Buffalo Sabres. They called up Bill Pye from the American League. The Rochester farm team was actually going through the Canadian Maritimes, and the snow is just as bad there as it is here. But Bill wanted us to let his mom and dad, Bill and Ellen Pye, know in Canton, Michigan, he made it, Mom and Dad. He's here. He's not in uniform, but he's in the building someplace.
And that's what matters to Mom and Dad. Yep. They know where their son is. 22 seconds left to go here in the first period. 2-1 Buffalo leading. Hasek moves behind the net to Swoboda. Vita Swoboda turning. Doug Brown forced the play off the boards. Played up by Derek Plant on the far side. Schmeling brings it to Audette. Donald Audette couldn't control. Stevens up ice, had to let it go. Swoboda back to get it. 2 seconds left to go. We've completed the first period here at the Odd in Buffalo. ESPN's National Hockey Night, and a good one. Good goaltending both ways. Ken Reggett doing a good job for Pittsburgh. Shots ended up at 12-12 here in the first, but the Buffalo Sabres on the 2 goals picked up by McGillney and Himalev after Francis had scored for Pittsburgh. It's the Sabres 2 and Pittsburgh 1. Steve?
Gary and Bill, thanks very much. No time for small talk. There's plenty to do coming up on the intermission. All sorts of news and notes from around the NHL. Scores and highlights as well of the 3 other games around the NHL. Scott Stevens has a 5-game point-scoring streak on the line as the Devils play the Panthers. And welcome back, everyone. Steve Levy in between periods number 1 and 2. Many of you watching Buffalo and Pittsburgh, and after 1 period of play at the Odd, the Sabres have a 2-1 lead over the Penguins. 3 other games to tell you about around the National Hockey League tonight, including the Florida Panthers. They go on the road to New Jersey. The Panthers, a very surprising 500 and playing well on the road. John Van Beesbrook, usually so adept at handling the puck, makes a mistake. The giveaway costs him John McClain a minute 13 in. Jim, take it from there.
Well, the Devs are leading 1-0. Here's a 2-on-2, but watch right here is number 18 for the Panthers. Mike Huff comes back, makes a great play, followed by a dreadful play as he tries to clear it to the wrong guy, John McClain. This guy's on fire. He scores goals in bunches. That is his 2nd of the night. Steve?
So that's where they stand after 1. Florida, rather the New Jersey Devils, up by a score of 2-0. McClain continues to score, has 4 in his last 5 games. And Jim, we saw the couple of giveaways by Florida leading to both Devil goals. You mentioned the power play for the Panthers. Help is on the way in the form of Bob Kudelski. He figures to play tomorrow night in the Florida game in Boston, but they could use him tonight on the power play.
Well, absolutely right. There's a 5-on-3 for a long time, and it seems like a real long time if you're a Panther fan. A lot of good scoring chances, but they're missing the one guy that can put the puck in the net. And you'll see them on the power play right here. A nice feed to Murphy, a blast, Rare the save. There's Mellenby for the rebound. The pad save again, thwarted. The Panthers cannot score on their power play, 23rd in the league. Watch this cross pass, Jesse Belanger. Not a goal scorer. He dumps it wide with Terreri moving post to post. That side of the net was open. Another chance here at the point. Murphy with a blast. Watch his play. Bernie Nichols Great offensive player, great defensive player with the block, the clear. The Devs are out of trouble and no goal for the Florida Panthers.
All right, elsewhere around the NHL, strange game, Calgary and the Islanders. The Flames without Gary Roberts, will tell you why. The Islanders being coached by Lorne Henning, will tell you why in just a second. Highlights of this one, Tom Kurvers loses. Joe Nieuwendyk picks up the loose puck, beats Jamie McClellan in his first NHL game. Steve Thomas, the shot. Andrei Trefilov, who played so well against the Rangers, stops it, but the rebound put home by Pierre Turgeon. The Islanders would add another goal in the final minute of play in that first period. Derek King, the nifty move, he beats Trefilov with 20 seconds left in the period. So that's where they stand now, 2-1 after one period of play in favor of the Islanders. Ron Hextall had started 20 straight games, needed a breather. Also, Quebec and Edmonton, that's coming up in just a little bit. The Oilers have allowed 11 goals in their last 2 games. Up next, when we come back, we'll examine an extortion scam that is concerning Russian players who are in the National Hockey League. That's up next when Al Morganti joins us from Buffalo. And welcome back again. Many of you are enjoying after one period of play. Buffalo a 2-1 lead over Pittsburgh at the Old. We'll get you back for second period action in just a little bit. But first, over the last couple of weeks, it has become public knowledge. Apparently, there is something going on concerning the Russian hockey players that are currently in the NHL being threatened by members of organized crime with some Russian ties. Well, our Al Morganti is in Buffalo with the crew tonight and has much more on this story. Al?
Thanks, Steve. It kind of started as a low rumble in Quebec, some rumors about this, then L.A., Detroit, New York. Then Alexei Zhitnik admitted that he'd been asked or threatened for money from organized crime or a group in the Soviet Union and in the United States. And it's got louder and louder and more veracity or more weight given to this with statements such as these from Alexander Godinyuk.
I know Zitnik paid some amount of money, and we talked for a long time about this, and we just found it scared.
People with money over there are hit on for money, and Alex is a wealthy man in Russia, and then all the Russian athletes that are over here making American dollars are very big people over there. So, but we feel comfortable with the situation. Alex feels comfortable with the situation. We're on top of it. Our people know what's going on, and you know, it's the best it can be.
You might wonder why. Well, you wonder why. Follow the money. These Russian players make a lot of money. Sergei Fedorov just signed a contract for $3 million a year. You look at that at what it equals in a Russian income, 96,000 times the average Russian income. So you can see there's a lot of money there. This is a major corporation, not a hockey player. Now, I've checked with several general managers, scouts, agents about what's going on, and the more logical story seems to be, one, there may be a problem with people who think they represent these players. The Russian players want to get out very fast. They sign papers with many different people, and there may be a problem as to who exactly has their rights. Secondly, it could be thugs or smaller time crime, not exactly organized crime. There's 4,000 street gangs in the Soviet Union. I checked with what used to be the Soviet Union. I checked with some foreign correspondents over there. 200 so-called organized crimes elements. But I'm told that they kind of look at the hockey player as a kind of an idol, and they would not likely that the Russian mafia, as it's called, would be involved in this. They don't want to get involved with this with a hockey player. So I'm told more likely it's a thug type of a situation, not a mafia type of a situation, and that it could be involved agents and it could be involved the Zamboni may be the problem here right now. And that might be more of a situation, it's kind of a stretch to call it the mafia. All right, back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Al, thanks very much. I want to look out for that Zamboni. No, seriously, that's a very troubling story that hopefully they will get to the bottom of. That's probably a little bit beyond just the National Hockey League. Well, still to come, we have much more for you tonight. And second period action is coming up. Pittsburgh and Buffalo. Yuri Himalev's goal for the Sabres gave them a 2-1 lead over the Penguins after one. That's where we stand. And welcome back, everyone. We get late word from Buffalo. Al is fine. The Zamboni did miss him. After one period of play, Buffalo has a 2-1 lead over Pittsburgh in our game. There is plenty of news and notes around the NHL. First, in the Dallas Stars, they lose their best star. Mike Modano expected to be out 4 to 6 weeks with a sprained medial collateral ligament in his left knee. This was last night. Dave Brown gets him with his knee. They go knee to knee. Modano underwent an MRI this afternoon. Results figured to be available tomorrow. That really hurts. Modano, 5th in the league in scoring, Jim, with 53 points. What are your thoughts on that? Dave Brown, we know his game. That's not Mike Modano's game.
Well, Dave Brown is a big, tough guy. He certainly moves in to hit. What happens in this situation, Modano was very adept at moving himself and moving the puck. He gives Brownie the how do you do. Brownie gets caught, legs spread. I really do not think there was intent to injure, just intent to make contact. Unfortunately for the Stars, they will miss McDonald greatly.
Yeah, that'll kill them for sure. They've been playing so well at home, and then as of late they've struggled. Now they'll struggle even more without Madonna. Other NHL news for you concerning the New York Islanders. Told you it was a strange game. Well, the league announced today that Islanders forward Mick Vukota would be suspended for 10 games. Coach Al Arbour 5 games. Vukota left the players' bench during this altercation Tuesday night against New Jersey. That is not a judgment call. That's the way the rule book has actually written it. In addition, Arbour has been fined $1,000. The Islanders, as a team, $10,000. First time for Arbour in his 22 years he has been suspended. Also, Steve Larmer of the Rangers, out with a broken hand. He'll probably miss 4 weeks thanks to a slash by Calgary's Gary Roberts. We told you he wasn't playing tonight. Roberts has been suspended indefinitely. More on that in the next couple of days. Speaking of the Rangers, next time we get together, you'll see Mark Messier's already got his game face on. A week ahead of time, National Hockey Night, next Friday night from the Garden. The Flyers and the Rangers make plans to be with us.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by Crest, the dentist's choice for fighting cavities. Crest with Fluorostat. By Budweiser, Beechwood Age for a crisp, clean, classic taste. And by Owens Corning. Make energy savings a touch easier with new Pink Plus insulation.
And welcome back to the Odd in Buffalo 95th meeting between Pittsburgh and Buffalo after 1. Sabres lead at 2-1. Gary Thornell Morganti and the magic finger of Bill Clement.
No, I think we should look at the Buffalo Sabres trap, and this is what it's all about. Here's the Sabre. He is trying to get in on Larry Murphy to force him. This is Larry Murphy with the puck, is to force him up this way. But look at Ronnie Francis. He knows that there's a seam right here. They can beat the early part of the trap. And Larry Murphy hits him. And then it's just a relay. Watch this. All the way up to Joey Mullen. If we stop it here, you'll see if you draw a line like this, all 5 Sabres are on this side of the ice. That's what a trap is, an overload on one side. This lane, which is almost half of the ice, is available for Joey Mullen. If you get the puck over there, you're going to get some scoring chances. The Penguins just about beat it twice in the first period. They'll try to beat it again, and if they do, they'll get some scoring chances.
Well, John Muckler at least didn't let us down. He told me, now that I've explained to you what the trap is we use, I'm not going to use it tonight.
No, he's used it.
He's used it.
He has used it. He said that his players caught on to it almost immediately, which is a real comment on John Muckler's technical knowledge plus his teaching ability. Terrific.
He gave the team off a couple of days here. Felt they were getting a little tired. Last 2 days they've been off. They've got a 2-1 lead as we go to the second period. Even strength. Intercepted Martin Straka. Back for Brown. Doug Brown to Straka. Couldn't get it through. Stevens stepping up. He's got it away from McGillney. His centering pass. Peter Swoboda's there. Just underway in the second period here at the Odd. Dale Hawerchuk over to McGillney with an offside, so he went back to Swoboda. McGillney in the middle. Himmelev with Hawerchuk. Couldn't get it through Larry Murphy. McGillney shot high and wide. Hawerchuk, his shot deflected by Ken Reggett off the back of the net. Deflected out in front. Kicked into the corner by Brown. Himmelev, Pittsburgh running around right now. They need to get it out of the zone. Murphy up for Brown. Brown to the blue line. Was able to get it out. Swoboda kicks it back in. Francis scored for Pittsburgh. McGillney and Himmelev for Buffalo. 2-1 Sabres on top. Thomas has got it back in his own end. Scott Thomas. Thomas to the red line. He'll dump it into the wide side corner. Ramsey goes back to get it. You see the boards. Pretty good bounce. Ramsey with it. Mike Ramsey up off the back of Patterson, the rookie. Down goes Marty McSorley. Getting back up. No call as he looked over to Kerry Fraser. Bodger over to get it. Wide side for Randy Wood. Wood challenged by Patterson. Got it up for Thomas. 2-on-2 with Sweeney. Holding it. Thomas kicked away Ramsey. Ramsey dumped. Played along the far side. Justin Duberman. Another one of the rookies just called up for today's game. It's only his second National Hockey League game. On the wide side, Randy Wood. Wood drops it in the middle for Sweeney. Bob Sweeney will send it up. Sweeney would like to find the scoring touch a little. 5 goals, 9 assists on the season right now for Bob Sweeney.
He only has 2 even-strength goals, and I think that troubles him and John Muckler. And really, they're looking for production from anybody. I think that's why John Muckler mentioned all those players. We talked about him mentioning players and mentioning them in print. Sweeney was one of them. Brad May was one of them. Peter Swoboda, as you mentioned in the first period, was also one of them.
Because while Hasek's doing the job in net, he's having to do it without giving up more than a couple of goals a game. That's about all he's got because Buffalo's average keeps dropping, and while he's been playing, they aren't even up to 3 goals a game. Ken Sutton touching it up. Icing call underway here in the second period. ESPN's National Hockey Night. Sabres up.
Welcome back to the Odd. Al Morganti, Bill Clement, Gary Thorne. Jaromir Jagr left the ice early at the first period. No problems. He says he was just leaving early. Got a little break. There wasn't much time left. Went to the locker room. Went back to the ice laughing. Nothing wrong with him, Gary.
Well, you got to watch out for those Zambonis down there,
I'll tell you, Gary, I'm going to get Ulf Samuelsson. We know what he can do to a Zamboni.
Wait, Bill Thorne? Al, no offense, but if it comes to a collision between you and the Zamboni, I'm betting on the Zamboni.
He survived it, though, and he stayed on camera. That's what I really liked about it. Francis takes the face-off against Sweeney. Sabres up 2-1 here, just underway in the second. Samuelsson going back to the corner to get it. He gets touched up by Thomas. Played around the boards. Joey Mullen at his own end. Mullen bangs it out to center ice. Francis drops it back. Larry Murphy in. Francis was onside ahead of him. Murphy cutting, trying to get the shot off one-handed. Couldn't. Good coverage by the rookie. Scott Thomas is getting a lot of ice time in this game. Tipped away in the corner. Francis wide side. Wind up Mullen. He was trying to center Jagr, who was cutting in on the right wing. That was not a shot. Thomas gets it out on the near side for Randy Wood. Wood coming 3-on-3. Wood looking for a screen. No help. So just going to have to dump it around the net. Sweeney back. Sweeney leaves it far side. Buffalo needs a line change here. They've run out of legs out there in this ship. Randy Wood moves over. Tip back in front. Samuelsson. Shell Samuelsson out of the game injured. Ulf Samuelsson, and did he just deck Thomas right across the face? Thomas goes back at Samuelsson. Samuelsson went by Thomas and put his stick right up in his nose and decked him. Thomas turned around and tried to retaliate.
Yeah, he got him, too. Got him with a pretty good elbow.
The rookie just met Ulf Samuelsson. And was it ever a rough meeting? Let's take a look at what's going on. Other games going on in the National Hockey League. Our bud scoreboard. You see the Islanders who need points leading Calgary. Calgary, their injury list is unbelievable. Devils going for 4 in a row against John Van Beesbrook in Florida. And Edmonton and Quebec. Quebec still struggling for points. And Thomas checking to see if his face is still there. Boy, he took a shot, and he's the only one who's going to draw the penalty here as he gets it for roughing.
Yep. Well, you'll see it on the left side of the screen. There's Samuelsson taking Thomas down. And then all of a sudden there's a turnover in the neutral, and here come the Sabres. Yeah, pretty good elbow up under the chin by the Buffalo native. Rookie with the Sabres, spent 3 years at Clarkson and had a year in Rochester last year, scoring 32 goals. Big enough kid, he's 195 pounds, but you're looking at 195 pounds of raw steel right there, boy. There's nobody tougher and stronger than Ulfie.
Not much chance there. This is going to be his 25th game of the season for Thomas, who's picked up a couple of goals and 2 assists on the year. Francis on the faceoff, dropped back, power play underway. Pittsburgh did not convert. Well, they did convert on their first power play chance of the game. They got the power play goal, which is the one that's up there on the board for them right now, as Francis got it at the end of a 2-man advantage when it was a 5-on-4. Brought back in by Stevens. Over to Francis. Power play. Mullen just hooked that one. Oh, my gosh. He got it on the heel of the stick. It wasn't even close.
That was a duck hook.
Good try, Joey, but that's happened before. Al Morganti.
Thanks, Gary. Well, I was doing that story on organized crime, the Russian mafia, as they say. I was asking the Penguins about the Russian mafia, Czech mafia, and they said, we don't have to worry about the Swedish mafia in the NHL. He's here. We've got him. It's Ulfie.
That's a good line.
That's probably pretty close, huh?
And there is no discouraging Ulf Samuelsson. There is not a human on this planet that could intimidate this guy. He plays hurt. He'll come right up and jump right in your face, and you can try and take his head off the next time. It doesn't matter. He'll be in your face the next time you come at him. He's really tough.
And a ton of ice time. He and Larry Murphy, unbelievable amount of time they have on the ice, especially with Shell Samuelsson being injured. Reagan holding it up behind the net. Murphy comes back to get it. 1:30 left on this power play for the Pittsburgh Penguins, who have been led on the power play by Kevin Stevens with 10 power play goals. Short-handed. Derek Plant, the rookie, saved, and Reagan was able to kick it away. Derek Plant, the rookie, and a short-handed breakaway, and Ken Reagan allows the Pens to dodge the bullet. Brought in by Stevens. Stevens, Mushmela got him. In the corner, Francis. Francis gets it up for Larry Murphy. Murphy back in the corner. Francis again. 1 minute left of the power play. Larry Murphy along the blue line. Down low, intended for Stevens. Muni was there to tip it away. Cleared up by Schmelik and not by Murphy. Good hold into Stevens. Stevens centered. Trying to hit Mullen, but it was blocked. Mullen in the corner with it. Joey Mullen. Great pass. Stevens. Shot. Hit the side of the net. Stevens. He had Larry Murphy all alone sneaking in on that other wing. 2:40 left in the power play. Up to Mullen from Francis. Marty McSorley, first power play unit work. Tip save made by Hasek. Rebound comes back. McSorley over to Mullen. Mullen, 29 on the power play. Marty McSorley. Buffalo stays back in the box. Joy Mullen trying to get it through the middle. No room. Knocked down McSorley. Over to Larry Murphy. Whistle, a hand pass called on Pittsburgh.
Boy, Derek Plant a few moments ago showed us some terrific speed. But even if you turn the puck over at the blue line, and watch this. Here's the Penguins pass. To whom? Well, they both miss it. And watch Derek Plant sweep in here at the blue line. See, both Penguins miss it. Whammo. Here he comes. He has got terrific speed. And you can see that he's behind Marty McSorley. Passes him. Boys, he got wheels. Asked Donald Audette about his sentiment about Derek Plant today. And Audette said, man, is he fast.
93 male athlete of the year for U.S. hockey. And he's not going to the Olympic team. A lot of pressure put on him here with the injuries to Buffalo. They need him. Derek Plant was asked to stay, even though it was his choice. He's staying. Tim Taylor, the U.S. hockey team, was not happy about it.
It was a tough decision for Derek Plant. I mean, it was one way or another. He was going to hurt somebody, and he knew that. He likes Tim Taylor of the Olympic program, the coach, and he has played for Tim Taylor. But Derek Plant said, you know what? Somebody's going to get hurt in this thing. And the way I figure it, the team that had Derek Plant had the best chance of keeping him because he just wants to support his teammates. And the Sabres had the leg up on the Olympic program because he was already here and not there.
So he stays, the 22-year-old who went to Minnesota Duluth, where he played his college hockey. Cleared up Randy Wood. There is a great at-bat.
Fungo.
Boy, I'll tell you, he hit that baby high, got it out of the zone. 5 seconds left on the power play for Pittsburgh. Their 4th power play, and they are now 1 for 4. The penalty is over. That's a 2-line pass, and we are back to even strength. 14:56 left to go. Second period from the odd in Buffalo. The shot's even at 14-14. Sabres up. A star.
Well, you can see the guy behind the Penguins bench in that nice V-neck sweater. That's Steve Lattin, their equipment man. He had an interesting day. A thief walked into their locker room and grabbed Larry Murphy's practice jersey, stuffed it in a bag. Steve Lattin saw him leaving, chased him for a block, knocked him down with a forearm, said, I want to see what's in the bag. Reclaimed the sweater, trotted back here to the odd.
Shot by Himmelov deflected wide. Just to prove he's good in the snow. McGillney centering pass for Himmelov deflects to the corner. Howardchuk over after it. And Pittsburgh's Larry Murphy able to get it out of the zone. Near side, Naslund brings it in. Marcus Naslund got turned on that play by Randy Moeller. Into the corner, Peter Swoboda chasing it, couldn't get to it. Howardchuk intercepts in the centering pass. Tried to hit McGillney, who was cutting up the middle. Moeller clears it out wide side. Larry Murphy going after it. Himmelov wise to let it go. Would have been a 2-line pass. Now it stays in play. Near side for Naslund. Naslund backed it up, held in by Howardchuk. 2-1, Sabres on top, and they have changed the goal that we credited originally to McGillney, the first Buffalo goal. Howardchuk gets it, his 17th. And McGillney picks up the assists on it, so that was tipped by Howardchuk. Played behind the net by Regan. Larry Murphy back to get it. Murphy clears it up ice at center. No one's got control. Knocked down. Derek Plant. Plant in. Nobody there to pass to. Plant hooked by Murphy. Lost control of the puck. Murphy bangs at it. High off the boards near side Patterson. Patterson pinned up. Plant held it in again. Looked to the middle. A shot save. Regan. Rebound came out deep. Brad May was skating by, trying to bat it out of the air.
Boy, did Doug Brown save today. I think Brad May actually had Doug Brown lift his stick up over it.
At center, Sutton's got it back again. Pressure being put on now by the Buffalo Sabres. Near side, Samuelson. Audette had it, lost it to Derek Plant. Plant centering pass went behind May. Played by Larry Murphy as he left the ice yet. Trottier off his skates. Plant back to get it. Plant got it back in the zone. Kicked away from Audette. Buffalo good pressure as they hold it in the offensive zone. Held up behind the net by Regan. Samuelson's got it. Both teams changing it up on the fly. Justin Duberman just came out at center to Trottier. Trottier back for Duberman. Duberman had his stick picked up. Good play made by Bob Sweeney of Buffalo on defense. Down at center ice. Pittsburgh player. Sweeney shot. Save made. Regan followed up behind the net by May, looking for Audette. No! I think it was saved by Regan. Ken Regan reached out on a point-blank shot and made the save. Trottier coming through the middle. His shot, that's deflected wide. And Beauty goes back to get it. And what had been a defensive game has opened up here in the second period. Bob Sweeney to the red line. Buffalo changing behind him. Sweeney tried to sweep it in, pinned up by Jennings. Buffalo's got their players on the ice and controlling Francis on Randy Wood. Wood, nice job to control the Muni. Muni shot deflected wide. Big pile up. Randy Wood, he had Ken Regan down, but he couldn't get the shot off as he turned away from the net. Francis battling Wood. Wood takes it back to the head. Bounces off Francis' skate. Up ice. They've got room. Joey Mullen. Mullen the shot. Save made. Dominic Hasek again. 2-1 Sabres. Steve Levy.
Gary Thorne, thanks. The Isles leading the Flames 2-1 in the second. Then 2 assists for Pierre Turgeon. Gets his pass through to Marty McInnes, who scores. And here's the other assist from Turgeon. This one just to the wrong guy. A giveaway. Theron Fleury picks it up. His shot is stopped. The rebound of Greg Puslowski. 3-2 Isles. Let's shuffle back to Buffalo.
The Islanders 2 points ahead of Tampa Bay. Can you believe that in the division?
Yeah, I have to at this point. Here's Joey Mullen alone again. Boy, he finally got his shot away. He's busted about 3 of them on that weak side wing. Super slow look at it. Dominic Hasek sure squeezed this one off.
19 starts in a row now for Hasek, who makes the save. The 28-year-old, best in the league right now. Goals against save, percentage, and shutouts. Brought in by Swoboda. Back to Howardchuk. Howardchuk turned it. McGillney missed it wide. In front. Turn around Swoboda. Save made by Reggett. That went through. McGillney up trying to hold it in. Francis has got it. 3-on-2 chance the other way. Marty McSorley. McSorley drops it off. Yager the middle shot. Save again. As Yager was open, heading down the slot. No wonder he's number 1. He's putting on a show.
I'll tell you what, that trap from a Buffalo standpoint, the only thing that got trapped were all the Buffalo forwards deep in the zone. We can start it right here. You can see the 3 Buffalo Sabres are trapped behind the play. So it's a 4-on-3. Francis dumps it up. And if you stop it right here, you can see that it's an absolute clean 3-on-2. Somebody's got to get through to the net. And I think that's what Marty McSorley ended up doing. See McSorley dish off and then take a man. Well, that's a pretty good play by the Sabres, or at least by the Penguins. But Yager, who is usually a pretty good sniper, shot it right into Hasek. I mean, he'll take 30 or 40 of those a game.
12 years of pro hockey. This guy, 9 years in Czechoslovakia, has never had a goals against higher than 3.25 in 12 pro years. Now, in Czechoslovakia, he played seasons that were about 42 games a season. But still, the Buffalo people say he is for real. This is not... This is not a...
I agree. I don't think you can be hot for 18 games.
No.
I mean, you can be hot for 6 games, 8 games, maybe stretch it to 10. And the Sabres have given him some support too, Gary. That 3-on-2 was the first odd man rush in this hockey game for the Penguins.
Good defensive coverage by the Sabres, as they have been doing ever since the loss, really, of Pat LaFontaine. Played by Yager. We haven't heard much from him tonight. Yager dumps it into the zone. Yager is out there with Mullen and Francis on this line. Muni backed it up into the corner to Bodger. Yager was over, couldn't get it. Buffalo trying to get out of the zone, backed up by Matthew Barnaby, wearing number 36, playing in his 8th game. Brought in by Yager. Yager, Muni. Centering pass, nobody there. Stevens had to take it out deep and lost it. Played back up, Derek Plant again. A lot of ice time, brought into the zone, rather. Not by Barnaby, not Plant. Barnaby stays out. Barnaby in the corner. Howardchuk centered. Nobody there to tip. Bodger goes back to get it. For Barnaby, you didn't see a lot of action in the first period. Out for 3 shifts already here. McGillney. McGillney for Himmelev had it blocked. Stevens was there to take it away. Kevin Stevens starts it up ice for the Pens, who are trailing. Sabres lead 2-1. Straka onside. Straka centered in wide. Brown out there with Straka and Stevens. They've been together on the line most of the last dozen games. Backed in by Straka. Murphy, the defenseman, centered. Doug Brown there, but got tied up. McGillney gets it. McGillney intended for Himmelev, who was cutting up the middle. Larry Murphy there again.
See Dominic Hasek, when he just deflected that wide, he ends up on his face more than any goalie I've ever seen.
He ends up in positions I've never seen of goaltenders.
Only in magazines.
Played up by Samuelson. Hit put on Straka on the far side. Good hit by Ken Sutton. That freed the puck up as well. Back comes Plant. Plant dropped it. Donald Audette one-handed it back into the middle. Controlled finally by May, who sends it deep. Around the board, Samuelson. Sutton moves over. Hit put on him by Stapleton. Rebound kicked back up to the point. Sutton down low for May. May's got Audette alone in front. Can't get it through. Regan, the goaltender. Audette working behind the net. In front. Shots deflected by Regan as Plant was wide open again. Plant in this game has had 3 chances where he has been all alone.
It's no wonder the Sabres want to keep him. When he gets it to Gary, I mean, he looks so confident. He always does something constructive with it.
There he is again, and he's off. He's not offside, but May was. And Plant's unhappy with himself and drops his stick as he diddled a little too long along the blue line with it. Sabres 2, Penguins 1. National Hockey Night from the Aud. Quarterback. He just sits and watches. He thought football was supposed to be the warmer game of hockey. Man, the last game they played here in Buffalo, 75,000 people showing up. It was like 10 below zero when they started and got colder.
You know, I'm never surprised to see football players in the stands at a hockey game and vice versa, because when I played, I mean, it was always the football guys that we seem to have the most in common with. Those two sports and the athletes always seem to get along. And here's a penalty now being called by Terry Fraser.
Penalty coming up. It's going to be on Pittsburgh. Buffalo getting the extra skater out on the ice. They've got him there right now. Schmelik deep in his own end. Delayed call. As soon as Pittsburgh touches, we'll have the call, but they haven't done it yet. Up ice, Hawerchuk. Hawerchuk coming. Jennings back there with him. Hawerchuk waiting for some help. Dropped it off. Shot by Thomas, deflected into the corner. And there's the whistle. And Marty McSorley and Rob Ray. Two heavyweights.
Oh, man, I can't believe they didn't drop their gloves. I actually wanted to see Rob Ray naked again. I mean, every time he fights, the top half of his body, he's got no clothes on. And I found out why today, because he wears no straps and his shoulder pads. I mean, we've had more shots in the last year of Rob Ray on our ESPN games without any clothes on from the waist up, because it just rips right off when anybody grabs it. I mean, I didn't necessarily want to see him naked.
I knew that.
Oh, okay.
Dan McCourt, thank you. That's all right. I wanted to certainly speak up for you there. That was necessary. Dan McCourt moved over to keep him away as Rob Ray and McSorley right here.
Oh, it's a good hit by Rob Ray. McSorley, the play was whistled down, but that happened before.
That's where the penalty was called, right there.
Well,
and they're going to be more.
Yeah, that was the penalty right there behind McSorley. We could hardly see it. Was it Mike Stapleton? Yeah.
He took a pretty good shot to the face.
That's Matthew Barnaby.
Barnaby out of the Quebec Major Junior program headed to the bench, but did not look like he was cut, and only 2 minutes goes up on Marty McSorley. That's all they've got up right now. It looks like that's all it's going to be. Al Morganti.
Hi, Gary. Right down here in front of me, Martin McSorley urging on, saying, come on, what are you waiting for? Let's go. What are you waiting for? Mr. Ray didn't want any part of McSorley right there. Probably discretion, the better part of valor in this game right now.
You're probably right. Ray's got 143 minutes in penalties, leads the Sabres.
Yeah. You see Mike Stapleton sitting in the penalty box beside Marty McSorley. Ooh, there's the first stuff. It was actually Mike Stapleton that was guilty of the high stick. This is at the tail end of the play. This is what they got the penalties for. McSorley let up on the play because he touched up on that delayed penalty call to Stapleton. As soon as the Penguins touched, the play was blown down. And Marty McSorley touched, the whistle went, and he let up for a split second, and that's when Rob Ray just nailed him.
So the penalties are Ray for roughing, McSorley for roughing, and Straka for roughing. So the 2 minutes goes up on the board against Pittsburgh, and it'll be a power play for the Buffalo Sabres with the 3 minors being taken there, 2 of them against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sabres leading at 2-1, 8:40 to go here in the second period.
You know, I actually said to Rob Ray, he was standing there watching the Penguins this morning, I said, you know, these guys don't have anybody that'll rip your clothes off. Well, maybe Marty McSorley, that's the only guy, and he said, that's okay by me. I mean, he wants to play some too, and John Muckler has played pretty well 4 lines. The reason we haven't seen Hannon and Rob Ray and Matthew Barnaby, their 4th line that much, there's been a lot of special teams play in the first period.
And we're doing it again right here in the second as the power play is underway for the Buffalo Sabres, their 4th of the game. Brought in by Francis shorthanded. He will rag it back a little bit. Thought about dumping it off, then left it for Trottier. Shorthanded Pittsburgh. Trottier, a pretty good collision there with Wood. Both of them came out of it with their arms up and protected the faces that time. Hawerchuk in. His shot wide. Reggett was pretty well screened on that one. Held in by Bodger. Bodger spins it back along the boards. Hawerchuk shot deflected. Himmelov wide. Swoboda far side. 1:20 on the power play. Shot by Bodger ends up 80 rows back. Still a power play underway here for the Sabres. Steve Levy.
Gareth, thanks. 3-2 Islanders leading the Flames at the Coliseum in the second. Benoit Hogue with the wheels, with the speed, goes back in the net. In his efforts to center the puck, goes off the skate of Lenny Saw. 4-2 Isles. Gary and Bill.
38 points for Florida. 38 points for Washington. 33 for the Islanders in that race for playoff spots.
And you got to figure that the Islanders might pick it up. It's interesting. You walk into the Sabres locker room, and Gary, for the last 3 weeks, we've walked into teams' rooms, and Alexander McGillney, who wears the C for captain with the Sabres team, they've got the conference standings everywhere. Almost every team has the conference standings in the locker room.
They're beginning to understand under the new playoff series, division doesn't matter very much except for finishing first because you get the second seed for the playoffs. But it's the top 8 teams in the conference that will go to the Stanley Cup first round.
You know, that shot of Alexander McGillney with the C on his jersey is a story in itself. And he's the first Russian player of former Soviet Union to come out of the former Soviet Union to be a captain in the National Hockey League. When Pat LaFontaine, who wears the C, went down, John Muckler designated Alexander McGillney as his captain.
Great honor for him. Brad May, Bodger, and Brown went down, and a penalty coming up here. It's going to be an interference call on Bodger, and Bodger may have gotten the worst of that as he's still down on the ice. Penalty coming up with 44 seconds still left on the Pittsburgh penalty. ESPN2's Fire on Ice coming up Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. The Tampa Bay Lightning will be taking on the Detroit Red Wings. Darren Pupa, 2.7 goals against. Fedorov, of course, 30 goals as he is burning it up. ESPN2 continues coverage of the National Hockey League on Thursday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. You'll see the Boston Bruins. Adam Oates leading the Bruins with 55 points against the Philadelphia Flyers with Eric Lindros. And hopefully we'll get to see Cam Neely on the ice going about every other game for Boston. That's Fire on Ice and ESPN2 upcoming games next week.
Boy, Doug Bodgers is holding his knee. He's wearing number 8 in white. You could see it was good contact with his knee. I mean, he actually got his stick up on the play, but it was his knee that took the biggest beating.
He goes on the interference call, so we'll skate 4-on-4, and then there'll be a power play coming up for Pittsburgh, barring any other penalties. Larry Murphy takes it back in behind the net. Shots right now are at, well, I can't tell because the temperature is the same thing as the shots. See, it's 1860 in favor of Buffalo. Pass is deflected in front. McGillney couldn't get it. Francis couldn't. Save made. Hasek again. Francis. The rebound went wide. Held in by Bodger in his own end. Swoboda's got it. 16 seconds left on the Pittsburgh penalty. No call. Swoboda went down. They're screaming at Kerry Fraser behind the play. Didn't get a call.
You know what was interesting? Dale Howardchuk was leading the rush looking back, and he was yelling back at Kerry Fraser, motioning with his hand.
Francis brings it in. Power play for Pittsburgh right now. Minute 17 on the power play. Marty McSorley just came out of the penalty box. Larry Murphy's waiting for his teammates to get onside. Lost the puck. Got it back. Tried to dish it and got level, and he's hurt. Larry Murphy down, and another penalty coming up on Dale Howardchuk, probably for boarding. Howardchuk caught Larry Murphy and dropped him. You know, the two-man advantage is coming up here for Pittsburgh.
It doesn't take much when a guy is near the boards. We talked about the directive that the referees received since the strike, talking about protecting the goalies, and talked about hitting from behind. And I think Larry Murphy was kind of turned sideways on that play, but
Dale Howardchuk not happy. Take a listen. Larry Murphy's waiting for his teammates to get inside. Head first.
Well, he did get him from behind, didn't he?
Yep. That's one the officials have to call because it is potentially the case for a very serious injury. Boarding comes at 13:36.
But you know, Gary, I agree 100% with this as a rule and with the enforcement of the rule. But there are so many players. Now, it's funny, you know, we always talk about the players will find the edge. They will find an advantage when something becomes the norm. There are so many players that turn their backs to the ice surface and their face to the boards, bend over. They kind of brace themselves so they won't get hurt, and they're waiting to take a hit. So players are using that now to draw. Larry Murphy did not do that in that case, and this was a good call, and it has to be called. But it's so interesting to watch how the players evolve around the rule and kind of adjust to the rule.
Another reason why officiating in this league is so damn difficult.
Yep.
Two-man advantage now for the Pittsburgh Penguins. This is the second time in the game they've had a two-man advantage. Mullen back at center ice. Drops it off for Marty McSorley. They've got 45 seconds on the two-man advantage. They have scored their goal on a power play in the first period, with the Sabres leading here by a score of 2-1. Stevens back to Marty McSorley. Sent back into the corner. Stevens is there to Joey Mullen. Mullen will work it up to McSorley. McSorley, a lot of room. The shot and a save made. Hasek actually got a piece of that as he was screened by Stevens. McSorley again drops it. Mullen banned on it. Stevens in front. Can't get it. Puck is finally cleared out by Dave Hannon. McSorley back. 9 seconds left on the two-man advantage. Francis has the only goal for Pittsburgh. Howard Chuck and Himmelab the other side. Shot wide by Larry Murphy. McSorley holds it in. 5-on-4 as the first penalty to the Sabres is over. A 5-on-4 power play for Pittsburgh. Larry Murphy off. Marty McSorley stays out. Sends it in. Hasek goes back to get it. Spun around. Schmelik to Himmelab. Himmelab to Sweeney. Short-handed. McSorley's in front of him. Sweeney brings it up. There's McSorley. Sweeney, the shot. Saved by Reagan. He used McSorley for a screen on a short-handed chance. Jaromir Jagr lost it to Sweeney. The Flex's players were changing up.
At one point, the Sabres only had one guy on the ice. Everybody thought he was the guy that was committing the too many men, and they all jumped off the ice.
Jagr, the move. Dug Brown, waiting. Center, shot deflected wide. It was a pass to the near side boards. Still short-handed. Derek Plant lost it. Samuelson out of the zone. Swoboda tips it over the glass with 5 seconds left on the Pittsburgh advantage.
Boy, that is some confident penalty killing by the Buffalo Sabres. I don't think I've ever seen a three-man kill as active. I mean, the Sabres just don't stand there. But when one guy moves, they all adjust. It's almost like the power play is trying to find a seam. They're trying to get a read on the three guys, and they're all over the place, but they're never really out of position. The last rush by the Penguins. Jagr again. Yeah, it was Randy Moller. It was Randy Moller that deflected it out of the way. I mean, the Sabres' positional play is as good as it's been probably in 10 years over the last 20 games with John Muckler.
John Muckler said, I don't know what I am anymore. They called me the offensive coach at Edmonton. They called me the offensive coach when I started here. Now we have to play D because of some injuries and losses. They're calling me the defensive coach. He smiles when he says all that. Well, he really doesn't care so long as his team's winning.
What is so interesting, Gary, is that he is able to change. And he has multiple philosophies depending on what is needed in a situation. And to me, that is the genius of John Muckler.
What do we got on John Muckler, head coach? His Buffalo Sabres leading Pittsburgh 2-1 here in the 4th meeting of the season. On our Budweiser scoreboard, the other games going on, you see the Islanders have extended their lead against Calgary. They are at home in that one. New Jersey still up 2-1 on Florida. They have a 2-0 lead in that game. Later games in Edmonton. The National Hockey League schedule tonight. Stevens to Straka. Straka, the shot. He just missed as he went for the far side post. Samuelson held it in. We're back to even strength now. Straka's shot deflected again. Full strength, even strength for the Sabres and the Pens. Jennings, Howard-Chuck. Howard-Chuck got it in. Doug Brown still in the zone, and the collision with Randy Moller and Brown, but that was offside as the puck had come out the center, and Brown was still deep in the corner in the offensive zone, so they got the whistle. 3:40 left here in the second period. Shots 19-18 in favor of the Buffalo Sabres.
You know, Randy Moller is just one of a number of Sabres has been fighting a bad back. There's a rehab center in Niagara Falls that Randy Moller rehabbed at for a lot of the offseason, and he came back strong. Craig Simpson, who is the guy the Sabres counted on, and you know, how do you figure? They really counted on Craig Simpson playing a lot, and he's been out for most of the season with a bad back. They lose Pat LaFontaine. They develop a new system, and here they are right back in the thick of things. They were absolutely dead in the water for the first 10 games of the season.
That's why you give them such great credit to John Muckler and his staff. They were 5-10-1 with LaFontaine, 13-7-3 without. And of course, Hasek has been the one in net 19 in a row. He's gone 10-5-3 in the past 18 starts consecutively for the Sabres, and that's made the difference. Picked back up by Derek Plant. Plant comes in, sends it in. Ken Reggett there, and May was cutting right in front of him. All right, Chris, storyline tonight from the Odd in Buffalo on ESPN's National Hockey Night. Dale Howard-Chuck picking up a goal, his 17th of the season. Francis picking up his 12th, the lone goal, a power play goal for Pittsburgh. You see the penalty killing. Buffalo's killed 5 out of the 6 Pittsburgh power play chances, including a couple of two-man advantages.
Yeah, that doesn't say it all. Just killing 5 of 6. 2 of them were extended 5-on-3 kills.
And Ken Reggett going in net again tonight with Roberto Romano, the 31-year-old, backing him up while Tom Barrasso continues to recover. And When he'll be back is right now indefinite, day-to-day sort of thing.
Ken Reget's wife is due with their second child any day now, and he was telling me that today a gas main broke on the street that he lives on in Pittsburgh. They had to come and dig it up. Heat was cut off because he has gas heat. The temperature had fallen to the low 60s and was about to fall to the 50s, and his wife was just about to abandon the house. They already have a son. That was all she needed when she's just about to deliver their second child, was to have the heat go on a really frigid winter day.
Not enough to worry about that. Marty McSorley sends it through the middle. Yager could not touch that one up. Leave it at the far end as Muni comes into the crease and touches it up. That will be an icing call with 3:02 to go in the second. And down at ice level, Al Morganti.
Thanks, Gary. I think you're looking at the Felix Potvin of this year, Dominic Hasek. I don't say that because he's a rookie or anything, but if you remember, when Potvin played so great for Toronto, Grant Fuhr became available. Well, Fuhr, who's been out with a knee injury, is healthy again, and I think he's going to be trade bait. Maybe Detroit. Hey, if I'm Detroit, I get him, so then I know Chris Osgood's going to win the Vezina Trophy. Gary?
You have got this all figured out. You're so far ahead of us, I can't believe it.
Al, you got GM written all over you.
Grant Fuhr has played in 16 games. He's 6-8-1 with a 4.32 goals against and a very poor 8.69 save percentage, but not a lot of time, of course, because of the injury. Along the boards, Thomas for Buffalo. Lost it to Joey Mullen, who sent it out. Tipped back up in the air. Marty McSorley to Yager. Does the 360 and brings it in. Tried to pass it off into the middle. Batted by Francis. No high stick here. Free to be played. Yager leaves it. Mullen cutting. Great play, Bodger, as he dove in order to prevent Mullen from getting in. Shot Yager, and that's deflected wide. Looked like he went a little wide on that. Ramsey to Yager. Jaromir Yager. They get back on side. Marty McSorley coming. Mullen in the middle. Joey Mullen got it. Mullen the move. Save made. Hasek with a tremendous leg save. Cleared out the length of the ice. Randy Wood rolled it in. Great play by Wood to avoid the icing as he beat Marty McSorley to the puck. Pinned up by Thomas in the corner, and there's the whistle and a penalty coming up as well. A tripping call. Well, the fans are getting a show at the Odd tonight.
They have gotten so many shows from Dominic Hasek. It's absolutely incredible. He has exceptional legs as opposed to great legs. Sharon Stone and Sidney Crawford have great legs. He has exceptional legs. And there it is. John Muckler said he's never seen feet in all of his years of coaching. And John Muckler, going back to a lot of leagues, he has never seen feet as quick as Dominic Hasek's.
Previously in the National Hockey League, Hasek was 24-11-6 in 2 seasons where he was up and down between the NHL and the minors. This season already, he's picked up 12 wins, half of what he had over the last 2. Marty McSorley's gone again on the tripping call. And we will have another power play for the Buffalo Sabres. There you see what they have done tonight. And on the season, they have picked up 2 power play goals, 2 for 17 against Pittsburgh on the power play. They've got a chance to extend their 2-1 lead with 2:11 left to go in the second period. Back to Sutton on the win of the draw by Howardchuk. Alexander McGillney. Sutton, tic-tac with McGillney. Down low, Howardchuk. Deflected wide by Trottier, who got a stick on it. Sutton to McGillney. Boy, he was open. McGillney, the shot save made by Reget off the right shoulder. Howardchuk to McGillney, who lets it go. Sutton the shot through a screen. I think Reget got that with the leg. Reget a save. Didn't see it till it had come into the crease. And he knocked it down with a catching glove. Sutton back to get it. Minute 26 of the power play for the Buffalo Sabres. Howardchuk cruising. Off for Himalev. Larry Murphy moves over. Himalev and Murphy do battle in the corner. Murphy played it up off the glass. Couldn't control it. Howardchuk at the point holds it in. Wide side for McGillney. McGillney still has it. Samuelson. Joey Mullen breaking. They may have to pay for that one. McGillney, they could have cleared. Didn't. Went for the shorthanded chance. McGillney drops it. Set up in front. Himalev. Himalev. Score! Pay for it.
And after all that terrific puck movement by the Buffalo Sabres, there was a broken play. But Himalev really was just doing the right thing by staying in front of the net. I mean, you can talk about pretty puck movement. Look at Himalev right in front of Ken Reget. When you have people in front of the net, and it looked like it deflected off of Himalev's skate, something good is going to happen a lot of times when you get the puck there. Let's watch it. Oh, Oh, went off Larry Murphy's skate. But, I mean, Murphy's not going to be there if Himmelev isn't there. This whole power play, Yuri Himmelev paid the price like you're seeing. Knocked down, hacked, pulled, held. Well, he did his job. He won't even get an assist on the play, but, boy, he did his job.
So it went in off Murphy instead of Himmelev. The Sabres get a power play goal. They take a 3-1 lead with 1:07 left to go in the second period. A big goal coming late in the second. I think McGillney should get credit on the centering pass, but we'll wait for the official announcement. He was at the side of the net, dumping it out in front. Clearly went off Larry Murphy's skate, though. Himmelev did not touch it on the way through. 3-1, Buffalo Sabres up, and they have picked up power play goals here tonight against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Randy Moeller. Moeller sends it in around the boards with 1 minute left to go in the second period. Near side, Randy Wood. Stevens had it, sends it out. Randy Moeller sends it right back in. There to play it. Ramsey drops it. Marty McSorley looking up ice, back toward Yager. Oh, man. Yager on Brad May.
Did he ever surprise him?
May didn't think he saw him coming, and instead of playing the puck, he went after May. Ramsey behind the net, 37 seconds left to go here in the second period. Francis, Yager, some room, shot, save made. Hasek again, making it look easy on Yager. Played up by Randy Moeller to Brad May. May sends it off the boards, intended for Randy Wood. Ken Reggett comes around to play it. Sweeney on the far side at the point. Svoboda to Sweeney. In front, deflected to Murphy. Murphy up, Stevens. Pittsburgh trying to get one with 10 left to go here in the period. Stevens stood up, knocked away by Randy Moeller. Good play. Up ice, this could be a break for Pittsburgh. It's going to be an icing call here. Samuelson touches it up with 4.3 left. They have given Himmelev credit. I'm sure that will be changed on that goal in 1853. McGillney and Howardchuk for the moment, the assist in the power play, but I'm sure they'll revert to McGillney and give him the goal later on. Well, Pittsburgh's got the face-off back in their offensive end.
The way Dominic Hasek is playing, those things which sometimes look like advantages just seem to get washed away. So what, they got a face-off in the end. He has been outstanding. You know, here we are with 4.3 to go in the second period, and it's easy to forget that he had a real bad bout of the flu, not only yesterday, but this morning. He didn't have a fever this morning. He did not skate. He came to the building. They sent him back home. But he has had a terrific career in the Czechoslovakian League, and we're not talking about a chopped liver league over there. He was the goaltender of the year in 86, 87, 88, 89, and 90. He was the player of the year in 87, 89, and 90. First team All-Star, 88, 89, 90. And when he came over here, he played in the International League, and he was the first team All-Star there in his first year, 1991.
That's why we say that this is no flash in the pan. 4.3 left. Alexander McGillney, numbers for him tonight. He has been active. They get another chance here. Off the face-off, Pittsburgh won it again. Shot by Stevens. Hasek the save, and kicked up off the glass on the rebound by Ron Francis. And he had Hasek down, and he couldn't get it into the roof.
And that's how Ronnie Francis scored the only goal the Penguins have picked up, and that is upstairs. He roofed it in the first period. He tried it again here, and he helped himself, too. He's great with his feet. See, he went for the stick on the draw, got it back, and then he went to the corner of the net. Oh, he had room. He just shot it over.
Pittsburgh's won 32 faceoffs. The Buffalo's 14, and that almost resulted in an important goal for them. A 3-1 lead for the Sabres. That lead extended by the goal that came late in the second period. It went off Larry Murphy's skate. McGillney celebrated. Steve Levy.
All right, Gary and Bill, thanks very much. As usual, our game taking its sweet time. Two other games going on in the NHL. They're already in their intermission. One game set to get underway in about 10 minutes from now. We'll have highlights and scores, all sorts of news and notes coming up for you as well. Coming up on this intermission, we'll also look at the Flames and the Islanders. Joe Nieuwendyk continues his red-hot pace. He's already scored tonight, but that's all I'll...
Tonight's second intermission report is brought to you by the New Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
And welcome back, everyone. Steve Levy along with Jim Schoenfeld, the New Dodge intermission report. Many of you are enjoying Buffalo leading Pittsburgh by a score of 3-1 after 2 periods of play. Yuri Himmelev, second of the night, the only scoring in that second period. Elsewhere tonight in the NHL, New Jersey Devils aren't getting a whole lot of respect they should. Third most points in the NHL. Taking on Florida and all-star John Van Beesbrook, Jim.
Did not look too sharp in the first period. He's going to get the puck here. This is a bad clear by Van Beesbrook, but a good read by Richer. He's right there. The pass to John McLean, his first goal of the night, Steve.
And just a little later, Mike Huff tries to clear. That's a giveaway. McLean grabs it out of the air by Van Beesbrook. Second of the night, 19th on the year, 2-zip Devils, Jim.
Well, Mike Huff had made a great play coming back. It was a 2-on-1. He made it a 2-on-2, and then he gives the puck to the wrong guy. McLean scores in bunches, and when he's hot, he's on fire.
In the second, Tom Chorsky gets the pass, had Van Beesbrook down, but instead elects to pass it, and then Van Beesbrook had time to get back, able to recover and make the second stop there. That's where they stand after two. New Jersey up by a score of 2-1. The Florida goal by Scott Mellenby. The Panthers 4-1-1 in their last 6. Calgary and the Islanders, Al Arbour in the booth watching his replacement Lorne Henning. Arbour, a 5-game suspension. Scoreless in the first. Joe Nieuwendyk gets the goal, beats Jamie McLennan in his first NHL game. Arbour, maybe that wasn't a good play. And a funny moment in the first, that's Bernard DeGrace. Not a whole lot of grace for the linesman there. After a Pierre Turgeon goal, Derek King scored, so the Islanders had a 2-1 lead. Jim?
Well, this is actually a 2-on-4. And you look at number 36, Esau. He is mesmerized by Turgeon. The pass comes over to McGinnis, and he wastes no time, and the Elvis from outer space loves it.
Jim, a cousin of yours?
Distant relative, yes.
Calgary and the Islanders after 2. That's where they stand. 4-2 in favor of the New York Islanders. When we come back, he's second in goals, fourth in assists. We'll look at Sergei Fedorov and some of his slick moves when we come back on National Hockey Night. And welcome back, everyone, to the new Dodge Intermission Report. Many of you enjoying after 2 periods of play Buffalo's 3-1 lead over Pittsburgh. Well, he might be hockey's new best all-around player. When Captain Steve Yzerman went down to injury, he was there to lead not only the club, but the entire NHL in scoring. Recently, he was passed by only Wayne Gretzky. Not too bad a guy to be passed by. And Sergei Fedorov is his name, of the Detroit Red Wings.
Fedorov scores! Copy to Fedorov without the helmet. Fedorov for his second goal. Scores! He's got 2!
It's great for the fans, I mean, to watch some of the things he does. And there's very few players I've played with who, when you're sitting on the bench during a game, or if you're up in the press box, whatever, and he'll make a move or do something, and everybody kind of looks around and goes, did you see this? Thank God I'm not playing against him.
The speed that he can do things at is always I guess, a fascinating item of hockey, that he made some great moves, but he makes them at full speed.
Fedorov back into the jet zone. Makes a move, drives the shot and scores! Back comes Fedorov. He can wheel in a race with Hatcher. Walking in is Fedorov, fakes, gets in front, score! Oh my goodness! What a shot!
I kind of feel that little bit pressure of leadership, and kind of was excited, really. And it's fun for me to be on ice as much as possible.
Kozlov moving in, gives to Fedorov, he scores! Sergei Fedorov with a blast. Fedorov cuts toward the middle, now stops, shoots, he scores!
He's a little better offensively than I thought he might be. I think the reason being that he is more experienced now, and he seems to be taking the challenge of, he wants to be the best.
Sergei, without a doubt, is he is fast as anything, but he's the most powerful skater I've ever seen.
Here comes Fedorov. Fedorov. Curtis Joseph. One more great save. And deflected it. Fedorov scores! There's Fedorov, meanwhile, on a run without the helmet. Fedorov to down the straight to Fedorov. They score!
Now it's kind of time. I feel pretty good about myself, and I'm kind of proud of what I do right now on ice, and hopefully it's going to continue.
This line can score. Vyacheslav Kozlov working in front of the net, leaves it, shot, chase on, save, score! Fedorov jams it home!
Scotty now has Coffey on the line with Fedorov.
Long shot, save, put it on the rebound! Sergei Fedorov, a brilliant goal! Oh, my!
Fedorov, the move he made on Kipkov, gets into the shot, he scores!
Sergei Fedorov can play both ends of this game. In our game, though, it's Marty McSorley to Joe Mullen, stopped by Dominik Hasek, as he's been doing all season long. We'll be right back. Here on National Hockey Net, we go inside the numbers to check out the goal leaders, and there you see it. The guy in white is Cam Neely. And, Jim, the amazing part about it, not that Neely doesn't belong on that list, and he certainly does. When you look at it, on that chart, the 4 guys that are ahead of Neely all have played at least 15 more games than Cam has. That's quite a statement for Neely to be there in his condition. Yeah, Cam is scoring at better than a goal per game clip, but, of course, he adds a lot more to the Boston Bruins. When Neely's in the lineup, the entire Bruin team stands a little bit taller. Their expectations are raised, and more importantly, their opponents' expectations are greatly reduced. Cam Neely the other night against the Jets last night makes a good read on a Bork pinch, feeds Donato. Donato blasted by O'Neill. Watch Neely right here in the slot. Sets up on the rebound. Better than a game. Oh, no, he doesn't find the net. He finds the post. Well, even Cam doesn't score in every game, but he does get physically involved in every game. And here he is, his favorite combatant last night, Ulanoff. And in comes Chris King, 2-on-1. Neely stands his ground. He wants Ulanoff. King wants him. Okay, I'll take my little swipe at Chris King. And this guy is as feisty a competitor as there is in the National Hockey League. And I have to agree with his coach, Brian Sutter. Right now, he is the best winger in all of hockey. Interesting you say that, because he is not one of the players invited to the All-Star game. 2 weeks from tonight, no game for us. All the superstars will be in one place, and we'll have it for you. It's All-Star Friday. To tell you the truth, it's actually better than the All-Star game itself. The skills competition, 7:30 Eastern, here on ESPN.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by Visa, official card and traveler's check of the 1994 Olympic Winter Games. By the new Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. And by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
Great to have you with us, everybody. Back at the Odd in Buffalo, Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and El Morganti, where the Sabres have a 3-1 lead after 2.
And one of the reasons they are leading is because Dominic has, in fact, been the dominator. Dominic Hasek, unorthodox as he may be and as unconventional as he may be, he has done a terrific job for the Buffalo Sabres for the last 18 starts. This is his 19th consecutive starts. We talked about unorthodox. Watch. I mean, he had to kind of go down to deflect it, but he is on his knees so much, and the goalie coach, Mitch Korn, for the Buffalo Sabres is working with him. See how he goes? I mean, every time he reaches or moves, he seems to end up on his knees, so their goaltending coach is working with him to try to keep him on his feet a little more, but they don't want to tweak him too much because it ain't broken right now. He's working great. He's getting some good help from Craig Muni, number 5, on this play as well.
And Alexander McGillney, who, of course, they rely on this Buffalo Sabre team. If they're going to score, if they're going to have offense, he's got to be involved in it. He watches a lot of those commercials that Michael Jordan does. Watch him. That's not a bad vertical leap from skates. And he ended up getting an assist on that last goal. So let's update you on the goal scoring here. 14:51 of the first, Francis from Murphy and Mullen. 15:30, Howardchuk from McGillney, and then Himmelev from Bodger and Swoboda. They have not changed that last goal. There you see the one Francis picked up, then the one Howardchuk tied it up with. Then Himmelev at 18:23 made it 2-1. Bodger and Swoboda, and Himmelev has been credited with that last goal, his 13th, his second of the night from McGillney and Howardchuk in the power play goal. So give Himmelev 2. He's got a chance for the hat trick here in this game. And the power plays tonight has been the penalty killing of the Buffalo Sabres that has made an enormous difference. 1 for 6 in the power play for Pittsburgh. Muni's got it. Underway, even strength, third period. Wood cleared it in right side to Thomas. His shot, Ken Reggett knocked it down. And there with a little help, Larry Murphy. Murphy gets it up for Jaromir Jagr. Pittsburgh, a third period team. They like to score in the third. Buffalo, a good defensive team in the third. The way they've constructed their style of play now, they get the lead and they kind of sit on it. Buffalo Sabres do, especially when they're up 2 going to the third. Jagr and Bodger. Woof. Both get up, look at each other, and head back into the play. Thomas on the far side. Sweeney and Francis move over, and there's the whistle. What a collision that was. Just a snowy night in Buffalo. El Morganti.
I don't know what I did wrong, Gary. You guys in that booth all night. First period almost hit by a Zamboni. Now I'm out here in the Buffalo night. A cold night, but it's impressive. A tough city. 69 inches of snow today. 16 degrees. It doesn't stop. Most cities paralyzed. This city goes on. Most impressively, This building, the Odd, is full despite the weather.
Hey, Al, can you line a cab up for us for after the game while you're out there? Just hold him. Get him to start the meter.
Well, you got your scarf and coat on. You might as well just keep on going.
Well, at least he's safe from the Zamboni out there.
That's right. Sabres leading it. And great to have you with us. Our first ESPN National Hockey Night of this 1994 year. Jennings, the shot. Hasek knocked it off into the corner. Played there by Doug Brown. Brown, Straka, and Stevens. They've been together all night long. Rather unusual because most of the time, rarely does a line stay together in the course of a game with the shifts that Eddie Johnson puts on with the Pittsburgh Penguins. But that line has been together tonight.
Here's that last play before we went to Al Morganti. Doug Bodger took Jaromir Jagr. Man, it looked like Jagr was not ready for that at all. Jagr got up and gave him a push, but you know, Bodger sometimes will go for the puck because he can play a finesse game, but when he turns it on physically, he can lay out as well. Hey, it's been a tough night for Jaromir. Remember, I told everybody before this game that he eats this team up. He loves playing against the Sabres. He dominates them here in Pittsburgh, even in Sacramento. But he said it's tougher playing against the Sabres now, and it's been tougher for him in this game. He has paid a big price, a lot.
You've seen the defense of the of the Buffalo Sabres, rather, that's made the difference. Jagr cleared it out. Chance for a 2-on-1. Outstanding play by Himmeleb to break it up. Himmeleb going for the hat trick. Save made by Raggett into the corner. Pittsburgh won in Pittsburgh 2-1. December 16th, the game's played here in Buffalo. Pittsburgh won it 4-2 and 6-2. Buffalo trying to come back and get a victory here tonight. College basketball coming up on ESPN tomorrow at noon Eastern and 9 a.m. Pacific time. You will see Tennessee State 4-6 on the year against Southwest Missouri State. You'll see Carlos Rogers of Tennessee State going at it. Tennessee 19-11 last year. And a college basketball game 2 tomorrow at 8 Eastern and 5 Pacific. Pittsburgh 7-2 on the season and number 18 in the nation. 8-1 Syracuse. Lawrence in motion. Moten will be out there averaging just under 20 points a game this year. All coming up tomorrow right here on ESPN. Off the draw in the Pittsburgh zone. Played up through center to Stevens. Stevens on the near side for Straka. Straka looking some room. Takes the shot, deflected into the seats. That one went off a Buffalo stick that time and ended up bouncing off the front of the balcony.
You know, we've talked about the Sabres with their injuries. We also mentioned the Pittsburgh Penguins. They are a banged-up bunch, and Kevin Stevens still has good numbers in spite of the fact that he has played a lot with Martin Straka, a second-year centerman, a young guy, and Doug Brown, who's primarily a defensive guy. But Kevin Stevens is at least used to that visor. You see the visor he's wearing? He had to wear that because of the terrific injury he suffered in the playoffs last year. He said he's adjusted to the visor. But you know what? It took him longer than it should have because he refused to wear it in practice. He said, I hated it so much, it was kind of my defiant way to say, I'm not going to wear it. He would have gotten used to it, he admitted, a lot quicker had he worn it in practice.
Boy, he has really come back after that devastating injury last year in the playoffs. Marty McSorley back to get it on the touch-up. That'll be an icing call. More whistles here in the first 2 minutes of this third period than we had in the first 2 periods combined. Talked with Marty McSorley today. I asked him flat out. I said, when are you going back to L.A.? All the rumors. He said, I'm not. He said there was a lot of talk about it, but he said, I don't think that's going to happen. He says, I'm getting much more accustomed to my position here. He said, I waited half a season to learn who my teammates were. He said, I'm in a position now where I feel I can add some leadership to this club, and I'm going to do it in the second half of this season.
And wait till Mario comes back. I mean, I think that Marty McSorley's stock will rise, especially then when Mario Lemieux comes back, because people will try and take him physically and try and take people like Jaromir Jagr. So when you get into a playoff situation, Marty's going to have to be a big guy, and he's a huge guy in the second half. I've always said Marty is going to be a second half player for this team, not a first half.
Money player, as they are called in sports, and he is one of them. Played by Randy Moeller. Moeller drops it off to May. May tips it into the zone. Look out here. The shot. Reagan had to come out and make a save on Donald Audette. In the corner. Audette moving. Audette lost control. Tipped in front. Audette looking in front to get position. Brad May trying to find him. May. His shot was blocked by Samuelson. Good flurry by the Buffalo Sabres as again they got Pittsburgh running around in front of their own goaltender.
Boy, that was a terrific move by Brad May. He was really being hounded by Ulf Samuelson. And Samuelson got close enough to him that Brad May did a little spin around move to get away from him. May there just deflected it deep into the corner. Here's the chance by Donald Audette. And when he circled the net on the right of your screen, Samuelson is just dogging. He's just hound dogging Brad May. Pushed him, and finally, watch this great move by May here. Whoop, back the other way. He beat everybody.
Audette shot saved by Reagan. it again. Marty McSorley plays it around the boards. Near side, stepped up. Swoboda couldn't control. Comes to Trottier, 2-on-1. Trottier moving, dropped it off. Great play made by Schmelik. Richard Schmelik, the 23-year-old, blocking the 2-on-1 pass. And then in the corner, down goes Ed Patterson. Patterson, the rookie, was on the other side with Trottier on that breakout. Trottier could not get it to him. Audette shot. That's blocked into the corner by Ramsey. Can't get it out. Schmelik there. His shot hit the side of the net. It was deflected at the side by Derek Plant. Up shot. Rickett, the save on Audette again. Played around by Patterson. And Pittsburgh gets it out. And Marty McSorley will dump, and both teams will change it up on the fly. There's Donald Audette. He has had some chances here in this shift. 2 of them. Last time down ice, Larry Murphy, wide side. Both teams changing over the boards they come. Schmelik back to get it. 3.5 minutes into the third period. The Sabres leading it by a score of 3-1. They're one game under 500 at home, trying to even it up with a victory here tonight. Dwayne Mullen drops it back. Samuelson into the middle of Yager. Jaromir Yager. Yager. Samuelson. Yager in the middle. Yager got through, but Francis was already in the zone on the offside call. Buffalo Sabres up. Himmelev's got 2 of them. 3-1.
Steve Levy back at our National Hockey Night studios. Third period, Jersey leading Florida 2-1. That's Jim Dowd behind the net. Finds Corey Millen in front. No chance for John Van Beesbrook. 3-1 in favor of the Devs. Back to Gary and Bill in Buffalo.
4 goals in the last 6 games for Donald Audette. We talked about those who weren't scoring for Buffalo. He's one of the few who has been putting it in the net.
Absolutely. Randy Wood has 2 goals in the last couple of games, but other than that, Donald Audette with his 4 and 6, that's it, baby.
Played behind the net by Muni. My good disc jockey friend Scott Muni in New York, who I have not used his name yet tonight. I've actually called Craig Muni by his right name every time. Sweeney around the net. That has never happened in a game I've done where Muni played. When I went to Edmonton every year, it was Scott Muni.
Never Paul Muni.
And Scott Muni, the disc jockey out of New York, sent me a T-shirt. I used his name so often, and he autographed it to me and thanked me for the publicity. Comes the center to Francis off to Larry Murphy. Murphy moving in. Francis got knocked down at the line, trying to avoid the offside, covered upside of the net. Where's the whistle? There it is. Everybody's skating around. Nobody heard the whistle, but they finally got one. Below that magic 2.0 mark in goals against, those are the ones who have done it. The only ones who have done it. Those are some names since the expansion in 67, 68.
Yeah, that's why in our open I mentioned pre-World War II numbers, because those were common numbers way back when, but we're talking modern day numbers now, and it's been a long time since anybody's been able to do it. Dominik Hasek right now is by a mile the best and the hottest in the league.
1.80 coming into tonight's game. The biggest problem for it, nobody knows how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, no kidding. I think I just called him
I'm telling you, we went around all night long, and nobody agrees on it. He's been called Hasek most of the season by everybody outside of Buffalo. Here in Buffalo, they call him Hasek, except the public address announcer who calls him Hasek.
And that's what we've been calling him, Hasek.
We've been calling him everything.
See, I was trying to cover for it.
Nah, don't cover. It's not our fault. He doesn't got a name we can pronounce. Played behind the net by Sutton. Into the corner, Moeller up for McGillney. McGillney drops it off. Lost it. Stevens, and he missed the short side. Stevens had a chance to bring Pittsburgh to within 1. Randy Moeller clears it out. Dale Hawerchuk brings it 3-on-3. Hawerchuk's got a step to Himmelett for the hat trick. Himmelett centered. Hawerchuk tipped it off the heel into the corner. Rolls back in front. Himmelett has got 2 goals tonight. Holds it in. Lost it at the line. Great chance with a hat trick right there to Gary Himmelett. Behind the net, bring it back to get it. Jim Pack, the defenseman. Pack sends it wide side for Yager. Yager gets spun around. Played back. Pack will have to come back. Pack working with Larry Murphy on the defensive pairing right now for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Jaromir Yager, Yager, Francis, and Joey Mullen are out there for the Pens. Cleared up by Francis. Chased down. They wave off any icing. Lodger goes back to get it. Hasek was there to help out. May on the near side. May up to the blue line, got it by Jaromir Jagr. Murphy there. Murphy back up for Mullen. Mullen with Jagr in the middle. Jagr lost it. Schmelik reached in and took it away. Good play by Schmelik. Collision in the corner. Jagr didn't like Swoboda the way he went at him and turned around and whacked him a couple of times. Jagr back for Samuelson. Samuelson up ice. Francis to Jagr. Onside. Goes by Trottier. This will be an icing call if Samuelson gets there first. And he does. Still plenty of time left. ESPN's National Hockey Night. Sabres up.
Boy, the Sabres have been a patient hockey team here tonight. They're leading 3-1. They just about made it 4-1 on this 3-on-2 rush. It was a good up ice pass. Dale Hawerchuk. Then he flips over to the side. And Yuri Himmelett with an excellent move. Tried to go back to Hawerchuk. Look at Hawerchuk at the side of the net. And Reagan deflected it wide. And Jaromir Jagr has really paid a price here tonight. I mean, everybody is after him. That's Peter Swoboda that raked him into the boards. And anytime you see Jaromir Jagr hit back, you know he's been really banged around. He's hit back about 4 times tonight.
Marty McSorley missed that one wide. McSorley coming back to get it. Chased down by Ray. Trottier. And Trottier, did he get hit by Ray and McSorley, his own teammate. Doug Bodger bats it down. Racing for it in the corner. Justin Duberman. Shot, score! The rookie, Ed Patterson. In his 7th National Hockey League game, he gets his first NHL goal.
Boy, this is really unlike the Sabres. I mean, there was a reverse right back up the right boards where Brian Trottier was, and Patterson was absolutely lonely in front of Dominic Hasek for that play. A real costly turnover. Trottier picked it up and dumped it out to Patterson, but Brian Trottier really was the only guy along the boards. The Sabres didn't have to panic like this and put it around the boards.
Right through the 5-hole on that one.
Right through the 5-hole. Man. Twice in that shift, Brian Trottier got leveled. But you see, he stayed with it, and he got leveled after the fact, too.
And he doesn't mind at all.
No. Oh, baby, did he get hit there by Craig Muni. Twice in one shift, and all worth it.
He gets the assist. Trottier, it is a 3-2 game. Trottier 6th all-time in points, 5th all-time in assists. And he assists Ed Patterson in his first NHL goal. How about that? The 5th all-time assist leader to the rookie getting his first National Hockey League goal. That's kind of nice. And it makes it a 3-2 game. Sabres lead is cut to 1, and 13-15 still remaining here in the 3rd period. Sutton drops it off wide side to Randy Moeller. Knocked down by Hawerchuk, played by Larry Murphy. Murphy sends it in. Hasek knocked it into the corner. Sutton goes back to get it. Stevens on him. Doug Brown moves up. Puck left in the corner. Wrapped around by Randy Moeller. Pass up. Larry Murphy steps up and holds it in. Brown going back to get it. Sutton all over it. Tip behind the net. Centering pass. Hit the back of the net. Stevens over to get it. Straka has centered. He's still pinned up. Stevens, the defenseman, cutting to help out. Hawerchuk stepped in front. Taken away again by Stevens. Hawerchuk moves up, gets it up to McGillney. McGillney, they've got a 3-on-2 break. Hawerchuk, near side Himmelett. Hawerchuk looking for Himmelett. Couldn't get the pass in. Again, Larry Murphy. McGillney centering pass, tipped by Himmelett near side. Himmelett, 2 goals tonight. McGillney, the move, the shot, missed it. Shot wide by Swoboda. McGillney back again. Left it behind the net. Larry Murphy is there. The Sabres 3, Pittsburgh 2. Teams changing. Swoboda trying to beat him to it. Peter Swoboda. Back to the point. Schmelik sends it in. Randy Wood is there. Wood, McGillney, and Sweeney. Sweeney, the shot. Blocked out deep by McSorley. Schmelik holds it into Sweeney. Sweeney back to McGillney. Couldn't reach it. Samuelson wants to ice. He does. Chased down at the other end by Peter Swoboda on the touch-up. There's the whistle. Sabres 3.